man, he good?
Victor says he's one of the best guns in the area.
What's Victor waiting for?
Same price.
And the $10,000 bonus for the gun. If he gets the girl and McGarrett. Be with you in a minute.
Good. I made a mistake. Could you send this for me?
Sure thing.
Thank you. Henry Collins. Yeah, the worst thing you know, tell it just up to my cousin. Word's out in the streets, but us would up the price of the life of Steve and Miss Wiley. 50,000 and a 10G bonus.
Come on, but I'm not positive. Okay, you might turn that down. Have fun.
Not to throw shade on other holidays.
Okay. You can't sit on my chair. I'm sorry. You can't sit on my chair. No.
Hey there, thanks for getting me in here, Susan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Listen, I'm a little new to the whole Zoom and YouTube thing.
Okay.
But I'm seeing you on here at To Be Determined Argentine Street.
Yeah.
And so you are like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tonight. I apologize.
No worries. Our power is out. I'm in Morrison.
Oh,
My
wind.
generator is running my computer, but we have no lights. I'm like lit by candlelight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my friends in Boulder are all having that same trouble. And of course, there's a fire down there, a big.
Oh, that's a scary fire. My wife was just coming. She was on 470 and I-70. And she said she could see the flames over Table Mesa.
Wow.
I know, in a rearview mirror. And that's scary. That's
Yeah.
crazy high.
That is. And actually, they said if you see flames, go ahead and evacuate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's 20 miles from us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into foothills, so.
Yeah, I
but-
was in Boulder for a really long time, so I have a lot of friends down there. I'm waiting to hear who's evacuating.
Yeah, it looked like it was Superior and Louisville,
Mm-hmm.
but not Boulder, because I've texted a couple people in Boulder, but you're right, no one's texted me back yet.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly. So was there some turnover in Georgetown? Are you new as the presenter?
No, Jen is just on vacation. She's in Wood Springs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there's a new town manager, right?
Yeah, town administrator is Steve Raby, R-A-B-E.
Okay. All right.
And he's just temporary.
He's temporary.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're still looking for somebody. So he's the interim town administrator.
Gotcha. So what's God, there's 6 things. We're number 6 tonight. What's in front of us?
Well, let's see.
I didn't get the
Agenda.
agenda.
Ooh. You know what? Can you see me?
I can see you, yeah.
Okay. Let's see what I have up here.
I can turn my camera off, but I'm in candlelight. Let's see how it looks.
Basic.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Green. So I have these things. Oh, okay. I'm practicing. Can you see the agenda?
I can see that it says agenda, but you have to double click on it.
So here we go. Bighorn Crossing.
No, I'm not. I see your other screen.
Oh, really?
I see your screen that is this is file, home, share, view, and it has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 files in it, but I don't see the agenda.
Oh. Wonder if I do it. Stop share. Okay, let's see. Let's try again. Share screen. Since you're early.
I'll be test.
Thank you.
Believe me, I fumbled through this all year.
Yeah. Okay. So I go from here.
Do you have 2 screens up or 1?
1.
Double click on that, the agenda. Not opening.
No? Okay. It's in front of me. Shoot.
It still says, I just see the little box.
My thing.
Already.
Oh.
Can you drag it and put it on top of this?
I can drag you. Oh. Okay, what if I do this? Let's try this.
What job do you have at Georgetown?
I take the minutes for this meeting, the DRC, and also. You see it now?
I can, yeah.
Okay, hey, I did something. Yeah, I take the minutes for this meeting and for Parks and Rec, and that's it. But it's just because Jen's on vacation.
So what else is call to order, roll call, design review committee?
Yeah, so this
Bighorn
is
Crossing, is that us? Is that first one us or no?
no, because this got moved around. Well, jeez,
Because we're Bighorn Crossing.
wonder if I have an old schedule and they put you first now.
I don't see anything though. I see
Yeah, and then there's all these.
that's us. We're last.
Okay.
Can you just drag us up to the top there?
That's a
No,
PDF. I'm
no,
afraid.
just me and you.
I know, right? They'll never know.
Never know. Well, I mean, I'll do as long as I'm literally on a generator, and hopefully,
Oh Lord.
during this meeting. It's you know, I live up in the mountains, so I know it's a
Yeah.
natural gas generator, so it comes on, comes off as it needs to. But
Oh my. Okay,
Yeah.
well, if you disappear, I'll know why.
yeah, if I disappear, I'll hopefully be back, and Andre should be on
Okay.
as well, and he's with me, but
Here, yeah. Okay. And then there is a new one at the very top that's not listed here. That's 40558. So I bet that'll go quick.
okay.
Stop share. Try this.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Hi there.
Hi, how's everything?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
And you're
I'm doing
Mr.
great.
Malik.
Yes, I'm Nasser Malik.
Okay, so it looks like you're about third on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, so hang in there. What I'll do is put you back to an attendee,
Sure.
so you won't be able to talk until
Okay.
your project up, and then I'll put you back in.
Thank you so much. I want to
Okay.
say I just want to thank everyone for taking, I know it's the holidays, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if a few of the members back in 2012 and 2013, you guys were awesome. We were doing Argentine project, and you guys helped me with the preliminary plan when our friend Tom was the admin. And but then we were thinking about building our house at that time, but my wife was diagnosed with the stage 3 breast cancer in 2000. So we stopped, and so now we are hoping that we can build her a house over there, and she can get out of Houston. It's 82 degrees today in Houston. Believe it or not.
I don't know. I might trade for that.
So I want to thank everyone for that. So you can put me on a mute, and I will wait
Sure.
whenever we are ready.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, and just hang
Thank you.
out there. I'll be back.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sean. Sean, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. This is my first time trying to run this Zoom thing, so be patient.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You are good.
Audio is on.
Hi. Robin. Okay. I think, Robin, you're up first in this meeting. You're on mute. Mary?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
Am I doing everything okay, do you think?
Looks fine to me. Hey, you're there.
I'm there. I'm here. Yeah, I made it.
Yeah. So, yeah, and if there's anything I need to do, let me know and I'll help you. I mean,
Thank
I
you.
don't know much.
Thank you. You probably more than me.
No, it looks really good, actually.
Okay.
So I'm going to mute myself now.
Okay. Miss Fix. Mr.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Hey.
Hi.
I was just going to say you're about first on the business here. So
Cool.
hang out. I'm going to put you in the attendee for a minute until we come up to you. And then I'll
Okay.
back in. So we won't be able to hear you for a few minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello, Susan.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Good. Have you got me?
Hi, Bob. I've got you. I can't see you.
I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Just got to push enough buttons.
Ah, good. Okay, I think my ability to share screen might be limited. So I can try if you're going to need it, but hi, Miss Barr. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Which project are you here with?
We are here with a Georgetown project for Nasir Malik.
Okay. Okay. You're about third on the list. So if you don't mind, I'm going to move you over to just an attendee. You won't be able to talk. And then when your project comes up, I'll pop you back in.
Sounds great. Matt Rennert's actually the lead on this, so if he pops in, do the same.
Okay.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah, thank you. Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
Can
Okay.
you hear me, Susan?
I can. And
Okay.
I'm telling everybody, I'm just working with this panelist versus attendee thing. So,
Yeah, okay.
Cindy. Hi. Okay. No stress.
All right, so are we good to go?
I think so.
All right. Oh, here comes Mark. Get his coffee. All right.
happened to Joan?
Okay, for now, I think it's just us. There's a lot of attendees, so.
Where's Joan?
Uh-oh, did I move her? Sorry, Joan.
Because she was there, wasn't she?
She was.
Uh-huh.
Let me go find her. Joan, there she is. Okay. Sorry, Joan.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you anymore.
Do you want me to sign out again? Mine keeps
No.
like respinning and saying join, and
Yeah, sorry. That's probably me.
it said something about the administrator had restarted the meeting or something.
No, I moved you to attendee, but now you're back. But I can't see you anymore. I
Well,
can hear you.
because it didn't go back to the thing where you sign in with video, it just booted me back in this way. Do you want me to do it again or not?
I don't know. Yes.
We would like to see her, yes.
I could try doing it again.
Okay, I'm gonna leave and come back again. I'll go back to
We'll
me.
let her leave and completely sign out and come back.
Okay. Holy Lord.
And have you heard anything from Brent or Betsy?
Not me.
There you are.
Okay. And sorry about that. We ready to start?
So,
Okay, let's call the meeting to order, and would you take the roll, please?
Joan Eaton? John Platt? Here. Sandy Neely?
Here.
Betsy Blakesley? Mark Reynolds?
Here.
Bob Hamilton?
Here.
Brent Ganser?
Okay. And is anyone on for audience business?
No, I think everybody's associated with the project.
Okay. Then we will go to approval of the agenda. Sorry, should.
I would just like to mention one thing about the agenda. I think that when we come to the three houses on Biddle, there is a note in the zoning review that I think the commission should discuss before we start any discussion with the applicant.
Okay. All righty. So old and new business then. Robin Fix. And is someone on for this?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find them.
I know.
A little bit of a crowd, huh?
There she is. Okay.
All right.
Hi, Robin. Was there anybody else with you tonight? Any other panelists on here? No, just, okay.
You're muted, Robin. You might want to unmute.
Okay,
You're good.
okay.
All right. Hi, Robin. If you'll state your name and address for us, please, and then just describe your project briefly.
Okay, my name, Robin Fickness, address 450 15th Street, Georgetown, Colorado. And my project is I am requesting approval to install a few windows and a sliding glass door
Okay.
to an existing structure.
And that's in a garage, do I understand that?
It's a garage, yes.
Are you going to turn the garage into a living quarters? Is that what you're trying to accomplish?
I think ultimately that would be make a small mother-in-law part of the garage.
So it'd be a separate living unit than the other two units?
Well,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you may want to check zoning on that and check with the building department on your fire codes and so forth on it.
Yeah, really do that because I think that you may be zoned for duplex only. So,
Okay, so I got all that information and the way I understood it, I'm fine as far as, because it is set up for multifamily and that's what I have. It says multifamily and or duplex. It uses both and I'm in the meadows. But I was already went through all that stuff.
we're recommending we'll deal with the windows. We're recommending you double check that, please, with the town administrator.
Especially if you're going to use it for a vacation rental, it's going to have to pass
Yeah.
code.
No.
It's for mother-in-law.
Personally,
Yeah, but you're adding an additional living unit, basically. So you're having three places as which isn't our concern, but I just telling you up front, you probably need to research a little more. You know, we can go ahead and pass the windows and doors, but if you're going to actually use it, it's going to have to meet code.
And of course, we knew that, but we knew we needed to get through you to make sure we can do that part. But yes, we will continue on to through the process.
And Robin, I would
Okay.
say what prompted this is that every time we get an application, the town goes through a whole series of does it meet zoning things? And we have a little yellow note on this that says to please let you know that you need to check on that. So we have done that part of our duty.
Okay, and I appreciate that. So I check with the county then?
No, you check with the town at town hall and go over the code, I suggest, with the town administrator.
Okay, now is that Jennifer?
No, Jen.
That's
is
who I
the
was
town
working
clerk.
with.
Yeah, Jen is the town clerk, but
Yes,
I suspect that she will direct you to sit on a zoning item, to sit down and go through it with the town administrator.
got it. Okay, I'll get back with her then.
Okay. Okay, so we'll
But
review this, but just understand us approving it doesn't mean that
The whole plan,
Yeah.
we knew there were pieces to it and this was just one piece.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So,
quick question on the windows you're putting in, do they match what's already in it in materials?
Well, the materials that are in there, the existing are wood windows. But we were choosing to install not wood windows for the weather conditions. We
We'll-
were going to do what,
vinyl clad and trim them out in wood to make them look like existing windows.
So they will visually match, is what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
correct.
Oh, there's page 93, book 3.
Yeah, book 3, section 3, chapter 12, A in A1, which talks about the size of the openings are, they're in line with what's already there. And then B, metal, fiberglass, or vinyl clad windows indoors, they should have a matte reflective finish.
Non-reflective finish, yeah.
They have and then you said you were going to go ahead and trim them with wood to match the existing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should make a note of that.
okay.
Yeah, it could be a stipulation.
I think that becomes a stipulation.
To match existing, sorry, to match the existing wood trim, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we are approving essentially 3 windows and 1 door.
Okay.
One, two, yes, 3 windows on the door.
Yes.
All right, any more questions or? Your motion?
Motion to approve the application as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it. Mark?
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay.
So you're good to go from our point of view.
Aye.
Please take the next step.
Oh, definitely. Thank you. But we
Great.
had to have windows. No windows, nothing else is gonna matter.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Thank you and
Happy
happy.
New
And you. Thank you.
Okay. Mark, you want to get us started here? I'm gonna finish filling out my paper real quick.
I think Cindy wanted a discussion.
No, we've got Bighorn.
Got Bighorn.
Oh, Bighorn. Okay. Who's here representing Bighorn tonight? Anybody?
I saw Garrett, didn't I?
Is
Maybe not.
Susan, somebody on for Bighorn?
She's working on
You can't hear me.
it.
Okay.
No,
Garrett is here. I don't know if anybody else. Maybe we could ask Garrett.
Oh, there's Garrett. That's who.
yeah, Garrett's it.
I have a Billy Wang, a Charles Moore, Dave Burton.
Turn Garrett on.
I think Charles is on the next projects.
I think there's
Garrett's here. He's just got to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Garrett, is there anybody else waiting to talk with you?
No.
Okay.
Mark, we have 2 items on this. The first one is a recommendation to the Planning Commission.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't have that paperwork in front of me. Do you have it, Joan? for the recommendation?
Let me look here.
I didn't have it in my packet.
You don't get it in our packets.
Oh, I should have it. Let me look with, she usually puts those all together, but let me check in the actual bundle for the project. Hang on, sorry. I'm gonna have to get a bigger desk if we keep doing this. Okay, here it is, discussion item.
Mark,
Yes.
on page 5 of book 1, you have the 6 conditions that we have to consider. On whether we recommend that it be approved or approved with stipulations or denied.
Have you got it, Cindy? I'm not finding that actual.
Right, but it's book 1 introduction. It's the same 6 things that Joan has to sign off of, that you guys sign off on.
Okay, what page are you on, Cindy?
Page 5 in book 1.
Okay, sorry. I do not have the paper. I'll get it tomorrow from Jen. Page 5. Okay.
In the middle of the page where it goes 1, 2, 3,
criteria.
4, 5, 6.
Okay, so this is about the actual zoning part, right?
Yes,
Okay, so this says it's for the COA.
I know, but we go through those same things for when those are the same.
Okay, oh, okay, I see, I got
those
you.
are questions that normally get
Um,
reviewed.
Okay,
And my understanding is that what happened here is originally all these buildings had 4 units. And then in 2019, they reduced some of them to 3 units. And that what essentially we're doing is going back to 4 units. Garrett, do you have any comments on that?
Yes. So my understanding is of the 13 buildings that are left over in the second phase, 11 of them will be 4 units and 2 of them will be 3 units. I believe that would be building 1 and building 13 on the site plan would be 3 units. As to why they changed, I don't know why they changed. I'm just proposing this today, and I'm not really sure what was done in the past.
Okay, so are we still using the site plan from 19 then, from 2019?
Yeah, I'm looking at the site plan A0-00 that's got the 359 design and the stamp on it.
Yes, I did submit a new site plan.
Several buildings that look like they're 3 unit.
Right, right.
17, 16, 11.
I did submit a new site plan with the conceptual, what do we call it? The subdivision plan community, that resubmittal. That should be the latest site plan that we should be using. And the one that I submitted has blue. It's got a blue color to every building.
So that's A0-00.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct. Yes, A0-00. That's
All
right. And it should be labeled as Exhibit C.
It is not labeled as.
Yeah, it's up in the left-hand corner.
Oh, it is. Yes. Exhibit
Yeah.
C, it is.
Okay, so which ones are going to be 3 units? Just 1 and 13?
Yeah, let me pull it up again. Building 1 and building 13.
Okay, now as far as the layout of all these buildings, is this still going with the 2019 plan that we approved last time?
Yes, the layout is the same.
I don't see 13.
13, it says lot 7, block 2.
Right underneath lot 7, block 2.
That's building 13 up there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Where is street AB?
Street AB, I'm not sure about street AB.
I mean, it's something that said street AB, and I stared at the map and I thought, I don't see any streets AB.
If that was, it was just a typo. We don't have a street AB.
I didn't think so. Okay, well, we have to go through our list, I guess.
Okay, so the only change, the only changes on this are the two buildings that are switching to 3 units, but the layout of all the buildings is what was approved before with the dog park and the kind of switching a few of the buildings around.
Well, actually, those buildings have been 3 units for quite a while.
But weren't there more 3? Anyway, okay, so.
There were more 3-unit buildings that are going back to 4-unit buildings.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. But the layout of the buildings hasn't changed this
That's
time.
not changed at all.
Okay, all right. So if you're ready, do we want to do this, or is there more discussion to be had? We're making a recommendation to approve this. Site plan?
To approve the site, it's a subdivision, to approve the subdivision request. We can recommend to approve it with stipulations or deny it. We can make any one of those decisions.
Right, okay. So we'll go through the 6 criteria here, if you guys will respond, please. On the effect of the proposed change on the general historic and/or architectural character of the structure or the area.
None.
Okay. 2 is the architectural style, arrangement, texture, or materials used on existing and proposed structures and their relation to other structures in the area.
It's not applicable on this one.
Okay. The effects of the proposed work in creating, changing, destroying, or affecting otherwise the exterior architectural features of the structure upon which such work is to be done.
Not applicable.
Okay. The effects of the proposed work upon the protection, enhancement, perpetuation, and use of the structure or area.
Is neutral, I think.
It has a positive
Yeah,
effect.
or positive, I would even say, yeah.
Okay. The use to which the structure or area will be put. Appropriate.
Appropriate.
Yep.
Okay, and the condition of existing improvements and whether or not they are a hazard to public health or safety.
No, they are not.
I'm not sure that's applicable because they're not built yet.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the actual decision form that we have. And those are the questions that up, between where we, do you know what I'm saying? I know you guys don't see it as often, but those are questions that we always ask on these projects.
Right.
So this is not a recommendation to zoning, correct?
This is a what they're asking is, do we recommend to the zoning, to the planning commission that they approve this minor subdivision application?
Okay. All right, so with those answers then, do we make a recommendation? Or what is our recommendation?
I would recommend that the DRC would recommend approval of the change in the zoning change.
Okay.
Technically, the Bighorn Crossing Minor Subdivision Planned Community Plat 2.
Okay.
I think it's Plat 10.
2 or 10?
2.
Okay. Don't confuse me when I'm writing. All right. So that's the first part. Oh, do we need to vote?
Yes.
I need a second.
I'll second it, Mark.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Right.
Against? Okay. And now we're discussing renewal of COA.
Mm-hmm.
For one of the buildings, is that correct, Garrett?
Yeah, just building 2
Just building 2.
for now, yes.
I have a funny question, and it may be just that I'm lost. Which way does building 2 face?
Building 2 faces, it looks like it faces the lake.
Okay, that would mean that its front facade was the east face.
Front facade is the
You
east.
see that from Bighorn Trail?
Yes, it faces Bighorn Trail.
It
Correct.
faces Bighorn Trail. Okay, because
Yep, it faces east.
right, and what I found confusing was, find it. No, it wasn't on your set, it was on the other set. Okay, fine. Not a problem. And these are essentially the same plans as were approved to begin with And this is a renewal of those plans because the certificate ran out. Am I correct in that?
That's correct. The only thing that you see now is that the architecturals and structurals match what we previously submitted for the exterior elevations.
That's helpful. Sorry, Carrie. And when you say inside courtyard, what you're really talking about is the space between the building and the garages,
That's
correct?
right. That's right.
Which are not really publicly visible.
Correct.
So what we are really most concerned with is A 4.01-02.
Okay. Yep.
And all of the materials, even though it's stick built, will remain, all the exterior materials will remain the same?
I'm glad you brought that up. So I think for the most part, yes. However, I just found out that the hardy material that we have specified is unavailable for the lap siding. So that's one thing that when we get to that point, if it's unavailable, I'm up to your disposal on how you want to handle that. If we submit with an alternative that still meets the design intent, but to my knowledge, I think that's going to be our only issue. We've got good luck with stucco and all the other materials. It's just the hardy right now that's very difficult to find.
And the hardy is on all of those areas that appear to have lap siding.
Yes, correct.
So it is the two central gables.
Yes, E010 is the hardy cement board lap siding.
Well, what are you suggesting as your alternatives at that point?
At that point, depends on what you're looking for. If you want that wood look, we have, I forget the name of it. I think it's called True Wood. They make a pre-finished material called True Wood, or we can do a painted stain grade material as well. We just don't know yet. We're just now starting that dialogue with our suppliers. So I wanted to make sure that I brought it up here. I wanted to show transparency that if we do run into that problem, that we're not just going to throw something up, that we want to make sure that we get it approved through the DRC.
Well, we could go ahead and approve it with a stipulation that you bring the product and have us review it.
Okay.
So Mark, what are not options? Vinyl?
Well, there's all kinds of different siding out there, smart siding.
Okay.
I think you're looking for a cement product or something durable down there. So masonite wouldn't work or something like that. But
right.
And we're not going to do vinyl siding.
No vinyl, no steel.
Right. Okay, so we will give you the option if the material has to change, but we want to approve it at the time of what you're going to change it to.
And that's a general, any material changes than what's been approved, you need to come back to us.
Okay.
That's a general.
You know, that siding had 7-inch exposures.
I believe so. It's 8-inch lap, 7-inch exposed. If
Well,
I remember correctly.
that's what it says in the fine print.
Then yes, that's
And
correct.
I'm wondering, I mean, that's larger than we usually ever go. We're usually at 6 for a max, even in,
Was that because of the proportions on the building? Do you recall that? The height and just the size of it?
I don't remember it ever really coming up.
It seemed like, do you remember what the lap is on the apartments? It seemed like there was a discussion about it being just like too stripy or something if it was narrower, but.
yeah, but these are house size, not.
Yeah.
We should probably have them match what's down there would be the.
Yeah.
Currently.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I agree with
Other
that.
townhouses.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely don't make it any bigger.
Okay.
We can double check on that.
if you look at the rendering on the stucco siding, the recessed area between the stucco panels is black or dark color. In looking at what's down there now, I don't think you can distinguish, that there are actual stucco panels there. It seems to be all like a solid white face. Is that something that could be done, is to go ahead and paint or otherwise color those so that they stick out more?
I'm a little lost, Bob.
Are you talking about like on
Elevation on the far left end, the beige colored stuff around the windows on, the main wall surface there? You see those black lines that demark the different sections of stucco?
Yes.
I think that looks a whole lot better than what I'm recalling seeing down at the lake on the existing buildings where it looks like it's white.
Yeah, it's pretty stark white too. This, the stucco, I realized they said was going to be some sort of off-white. It's not very far off.
I think it'd be a little more off-white and put the dark lines in. That would make it stand. I think it gives a better look to it.
Well, I think this was our original comments when we first started back with this project with Garrett again, was that the buildings that are there right now weren't done to these, drawings. There's a lot of wood trim that never got done. There's, all the doors and windows are exactly the same instead of being different like presented on this drawing. So there was a lot of details that were left off of those buildings that are down there now. And we want to make sure that we don't get more of that. So all the details that we see on these drawings, for sure, we want to see when they're done.
Absolutely. And I expect that we won't get approval unless they're done. So one thing to note, Bob, it's those lines that you're seeing on the stucco. I think those are just joint lines. I don't know if the design intent is to actually have a contrasting black color between those stucco joints, as much as it is just to notate that it's a joint and it's just not all a flat space.
If it's not a recess, if it's just a V, like a V notch, then
do
that. Then if it's not an actual space.
I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to show you a picture of what it looks like.
We're getting too much reflection.
Yeah, it's a little
I have photographs in my files.
Well, that's the better.
I'm working on it. I'm sorry. Let's see if this is going to work.
Yeah.
Maybe if I move it. Yeah, it's kind of hard.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, but that's the section with
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at a photograph of one of the ones that's down there now, and it's just a joint line.
Yeah, just a joint line.
Okay.
But for instance, in what you just showed us, the framing in the windows isn't what the framing is on. You went into the dark, Garrett.
Oh, I know. My lighting's terrible in here. Sorry.
There you go.
But the framing on the window isn't what the framing shows in this drawing.
Take a look.
You've got the windows, and then you've got the bit of hardy board, and then you've got windows, but you don't see that nice black frame around the windows.
There is a black frame around the windows in the photo I'm looking at. It does show black trim around the windows. It's really hard to tell in this picture.
Yeah, and we're looking at the what we mostly look at down there. There's only a threeplex with the garage in the courtyard. All the rest are just the garage built in, which we really don't have. We're not looking at that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, my intent in construction is to make everything look exactly like what you're seeing here. I don't want to run into issues when I'm looking to get C of O. Just because I cut corners and I didn't want to make the trim black around the windows. We're gonna have black window trim, It
Yeah,
doesn't,
because that window trim says, because it says that it is built up foam and a stucco quote frame. To make,
oh,
so it is not a trim. It looks to us like a trim, but when I read this, what E36 is, it's a built up foam and stucco frame, colored to match the board and batten. And
I gotcha.
if the board and batten is too light, I mean, what we're seeing here is something that's dark and pronounced and really sets off the windows. And I think that that's what we're looking for, is something that's dark and pronounced and sets off the windows.
I gotcha. Okay, now I follow you. I thought you were referring to just the window trim, but now I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, the whole frame that's around this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's around this one, and it is not around any of the rest of them, but it sets off this end very
Mhm.
nicely.
Okay. Yeah.
So
And
yes, we'd ask you to look to the details.
okay. And that's not a problem. Especially if there's stucco around. Let me pull that back up. Well, there's not. It's hardy around. That is kind of a weird detail to put in there. If it was stucco around, we would just double up the foam, but it's not. It's that hardy material. So we might have to do like depends on the thickness that they have, but we can do a thicker trim. I know that they have that with like wood siding, like the Smart Side and True Wood. We get like a 5/4 or a 6/4 trim piece that's much larger and much more pronounced.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like on that left-hand bay there, what our expectation was is that you have the two windows and then the hardy board in the middle between the top and bottom window. And it kind of popped out a little bit. It had depth to it.
Okay.
Looking at a picture of one of the units down with the stucco, and it's all on the same plane. I mean, the only thing that sticks out really is the window itself. So it has a very different look to it.
Okay. And that's
We like the look on the rendering that we're looking at today, but
right. Okay. Well, that's let's put that in there as a contingency.
we can put that as a stipulation.
Yeah, I agree. That way we make sure that we pop out that window trim.
Just to give it a little bit of depth.
Mm-hmm. And that's not something that's going to make or break us. So yeah, we'd be more than happy to put that detail in there.
And then I would like that we make the stipulation clear again that all the exterior lights need to be in full cutoff dark sky fixtures, because we get into the discussion of, okay, the light bulb doesn't hang way down, so it must be full cutoff. Now, full cutoff, the light bulb's up in there, so your cone comes down of light. Your cone doesn't go out of light. So I think that because we've had that difficulty recently in lots of new construction, I think your plans call for that anyway, but I think we're going to re-emphasize that needs to happen.
Yeah, and the key is full cutoff.
And the key is full cutoff, yes.
No problem.
The other stipulation that I know it's in there and everything, but it's something that always seems to get overlooked in the construction, is that any penetrations for vents or vent pipes or dryer vents, air vents, the penetrated exterior wall need to be non-reflective and painted to blend in with the surrounding material.
Okay.
I know everybody recognizes that, but walk around down there and you'll find all kinds of silver things hanging on the side of the building.
Yeah, no silver things.
That would probably include flashing too, because there's a lot of galvanized flashing hanging out of some of those units. Like
Okay.
roof flashing, siding flashing, any of that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do our best during construction to have our roofers use painted trim, painted flashing that matches this around. And then if not, we can go back at the end and paint it. But yeah.
Yeah, it'll find its way to the final checklist.
I have no doubt that it will.
You trust us, right?
Yeah.
So Joan, are you making those as
Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted a little clarity on the window trim. I have window trim to be pronounced and protrude for a visual depth. Is that specific enough for you guys? Okay, the full cutoff lighting on all exterior lighting and any exterior utilities, vents, etc., are painted in a non-reflective color, including flashing.
All metal out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Plastic.
More plastic. Yeah, the vents. Yeah, the plumbing vents coming up.
He's coming out.
Okay. Metal or plastic. Okay. All right.
Ready to make a motion?
If you guys are ready for a motion, I will take that.
I would move that we reapprove or approve the extension of the COA for Bighorn Crossing Building Number 2 with the stipulations noted.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is against? All right. See, that one was almost fun, huh, Garrett?
It was a nice change. I liked it. I felt like this went a lot better than the first couple.
Yeah, we were seeing if you'd keep coming back.
Well, I think we're all on the same page now, and that really.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you real quick if you did actually talk with them about, going back to the buildings that are already existing to finish up that trim work and stuff. Has there been any discussion about that?
I brought it up, but once I bring it up, it's kind of in their hands, and I haven't heard back.
Mhm.
I haven't heard anything. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well, we're not going to let it go, so just know that. Okay. Thanks. Good to see you.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate
Okay.
your time.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Okay, I have Mr. Malik on promote.
All right.
Joan,
yes,
this is the, there are 3 houses here. Along in that particular spot of land, but
yes,
I think that we should maybe address a couple of things.
Yes.
There was a note, I think you probably all read it.
Yes.
On the zoning review. At this, and I'm gonna read it out loud if that's okay.
Yes, please.
At this time, the matter is under review by the town attorney to determine if a physical address can be assigned to this property in conjunction with the issuance of a building permit issued. Subject property does not adjoin a public right-of-way, either public or private, but is landlocked on a vacated portion of Biddle Street. DRC may wish to approve the COA contingent upon the applicant providing proof of legal access to the property sufficient enough to support the assignment of official street address, or table the matter pending further review. And there's that issue. There also is the issue that this is listed to the wrong design district, but we can probably handle that. It is in Millside Hillside. It is not in Millside Residential, which will make a difference to how we look at the properties themselves. But I don't, at this time, there is no access to this. And typically a certificate of appropriateness comes more towards the end of a process than the beginning of one that has a lot of sort of legal hoops to jump. So I don't know how you want to proceed.
Well,
I don't know whether the administrator has any.
Steve, did you want to make a comment?
Yeah, I did talk a little bit more to the town attorney with that regard, and I guess we still are in agreement that, you know, we could not issue a building permit. We also agree that, and we've discussed this with Mr. Malik, he does have the ability to go through and get the COA. There is no vesting on behalf of the town with the issuance of a COA. It's just that we felt, when Jerry and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, we felt it was appropriate to, since we felt this way about the physical address, to give him an opportunity to regroup rather than moving forward if at his choice. And his choice apparently has been to continue on with the applications, which I think he has a full right to do. But there, as indicated, and I've talked to Joan, there is this hurdle as far as the issuance of the building permit until we have this other matter taken care of.
But Steve, is there access to even build this?
Well, that I can't make a judgment. All I can tell you is that there is no Biddle Street in that location. There is no public access. There is a private easement that is not considered a public right of way, a suitable public right of way. It is not a private road. It's not a private drive. And so those aren't questions that I can answer. All I know is that as part of the issuance of a building permit, there is the need to assign a physical address to the property, and there is no right of way that abuts that property in order to assign that address. So we couldn't issue a building permit.
Okay. So knowing that there are still these issues that will need to be resolved, the other comment I would make is that we, of course, were happy to review this project, and if it's appropriate, we can go ahead and do the COA. The one thing that the applicant needs to be aware of is there's 180 days on this once we issue a COA before you must get started on your project. Otherwise, you would have to come back to us to get it renewed. So knowing that you have these other things to do, I guess would be my warning is if you want to do this now, then know that 180 days kind of starts ticking. Does anybody else have a feeling about whether we should just go ahead and review this, and then it's not going to be anything that can be done until there's a building permit that can be issued?
Would access or utilities impact the, the layout, the site plan, and that type of thing? It's premature to go without knowing where you're coming in with utilities, where you're coming in with a road, and that kind of thing.
Well, and we would, I guess, have to review part of that as far as driveway and that sort of thing when that came about. So we'd still have to see it back again anyway.
It's going to be hard to do a complete review without some of the details.
Susan, there were two other attendees with us, Sarah and Matt, but I think they are not, I don't see them here.
Okay, let me get them. Okay, I've got Sarah, and the other one is?
Matt Taylor.
Matt Taylor, got it.
So, first of all, I want to thank everyone. Mark, it's good to see you again. We bought this property with the clear understanding. Our old friend Tom was the admin at that time, and I have submitted information to Steve. Before Steve, the Kent Brown was the admin, and we have discussions, and it clearly says on a deed, and there's an easement. It says for all future and current residents. It has an easement access, and those paperwork has been submitted. When we purchased this property, the title company did the research. I had a very long discussions with Tom. What a wonderful gentleman. You know, I wish he would be here. And he said, Mr. Malik, you don't have to worry about it. The deed shows that. It was in the easement. And it clearly says that block 54 and block 55, all future and current resident has egress and egress and utility easement. There are 3 homes currently located on the same parcel, which has been assigned address, which I'm really surprised. The house, which is located 1209 Biddle Street, which is not even on a Biddle Street, which is down the hill, which access through 13th Street, has been assigned a Biddle Street address. And now with new town administrator emailing me and telling me that we cannot build, which is very disturbing and shocking for us to know. We have invested a lot of time and money, and I have submitted the information. So there are 3 homes that has already been assigned the numbers on the same block and lot, which clearly says, and I have submitted that information to Steve, and I hope that he has given you guys that piece of documents. And it is a legal document, which is on the record. And it clearly defines that, yes, there is no street there, which, let me read this email from Kent Brown, because I sent him an email, and this is what Mr.
If you can kind of wrap this up, I understand all that you've been through already. And part of the issue is that's our board has really nothing to do with or say about any of that. We're really about the construction project. So reviewing the home you want to build and the construction of it. So while we understand what you're going through and that there are issues and, you know, that we cannot do anything about that one way or the other.
No, I 100% agree with you, but then why we bring a subject which is unrelated to the committee? That's the reason I'm giving you these details.
Yes. Well, the reason was that we understand this could be a bit more of a time-consuming project for you before, you know, you're going to be allowed to make a decision on building one way or the other. And so all we're saying is we're happy to review this project for you and give you our input on it. And then that still does not give you, you know, it doesn't change any of the other factors here going forward.
And
we
Thank
can't
you so
do
much.
anything about that.
I appreciate that.
And Joan, it has, the commission in general does not issue certificates of appropriateness where they know other actions need to be taken. They don't, you know, we can review and we can say, hey, you know, this is our review. But if there are other boards that need to go through things, you know, our typical action has been to say, hey, our review is contingent upon the fact that this and this and this happened. You don't get an actual certificate from it.
Yes.
Nasir, would you mind if I spoke?
Please do.
Certainly.
Hi, everybody. So I'm
name,
not actually, my name is Sarah Barr.
Thank you.
I am with the engineering company on this, so I'm not actually the lead, but I know you did bring up the question about utilities and the driveway and whether or not this decision would change that, because that would change your encompassing review. So I just wanted to let you know that as the easement stands, we are the surveying company, the civil company, and the structural company. So we've reviewed all these documents. So as the easement stands as of right now, as long as Mr. Nasir is able to clear up this understanding with the city, that the driveway will not change and the utilities coming in will not change. So as the documents are now, you can review them in their completeness, as long as Mr. Nasir is okay with the 180-day timeline that Joan mentioned.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to ask my board if you feel like if we just go ahead and do this review and if we decide on a COA is appropriate, we make that contingent upon other issues being resolved with the town? Or would you rather table it?
I think I think there are going to be some issues that we bring up on, I think this one's going to require a site visit, Joan. It's something that we do in particular kinds of locations, and this is actually in the Hillside District. It's actually in an area that the EPA is interested in too. And it causes a modification of the topography that is shown on the plans. So it's shown very clearly on your plans, but the original topography is not, and in a sense that we don't see both of them. So I think that there are a number of things that we certainly can look at and discuss. Yes, but I'm not sure that they're going to walk away with a decision on this one tonight.
Understood, Cindy. Also, those are architectural drawings. So you're correct that the topography is not quite shown exactly what you would expect with existing and proposed. Those would have come from my office. So I do have those available for you, but you obviously don't have them printed in front of you this evening.
Yeah, and that's going to be part, especially coming into a hillside with a guideline that says, please don't mess much with the topography. So, and then that's
which I'm actually quite excited to show you, because my civil engineer Hafiza was quite good at actually not messing with it much at all.
So perhaps what tonight should be is maybe more of a conceptual review where we can briefly review these plans and make comments on what concerns we would have with the building, and then we could table it, or you can come back when you're more prepared with the things that we'll need to do the review.
I think that would be really productive actually for us. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so
Sarah?
Yes.
In the work that you've done, do you have a rendering that kind of shows how the two houses fit into the hillside?
At this time, I would say no. And I know Matt here, who's the lead on this and the architect, may have a rendering, but as that we finished our final civil drawings today, I know that his rendering won't be as complete as the topography would be exactly. But we could absolutely provide that for you in the next session. I know one of the lots is quite flat and not quite of any concern. It's lower down on the right of way of Biddle Street. So it's just really these two that are together. But we could provide that.
That would be awesome, because that's what we struggle with on the hillside, is how much of an impact it makes in terms of seeing, this large structure where
Sure
there wasn't one. Actually,
Matt and I have worked together for almost a decade now. So we kind of teamed up on this project together for that in particular. Mr. Nasir has been working with my company for 19 years. And so I wanted to bring in somebody that I knew who's also done work in the mountains and understands that you building a home into it rather than trying to flatten it out like it's a suburb. It's not the same. So we have worked together basically to build our building into it rather than flattening it out. So I think you'd be quite pleased with that. And I think that would be something that we could do.
Joan, could we ask if, because they have submitted this as a new application, you see, that puts us into a whole time sequence.
Right.
Would the applicant agree to indicating that this is our preliminary review and that we will come back to it? This is our preliminary review and we will have a second course. Is the applicant agreeable to that?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
okay.
This was suggested to me by when I was applying by the town clerk. So I filled it up that way. But whatever makes things easier for all of us, our goal is to move forward with this, and all the help will be greatly appreciated.
Okay, so if you guys will help me, I'd like to make a little list, and of course, Sarah, I realize you'll be keeping that too, of other documents or information that we're going to need for our next review.
Okay, I'm actually on page 13 of book 3. And the guideline books are available, I think, as you know, online on the town website. And this is the mill site hillside rather than the mill site residential. And it makes a difference because the hillside talks about building, as Sarah mentioned, into the hill. And it talks about keeping a lower profile and not such a large dimension towards the street. So, and the first thing it says is the reinforcing the perception of the natural topography and use of the natural topography. So yes, that's the first item on our list. Could we existing topography and the indicated changes of topography. The other thing is that the next one says low profile buildings are encouraged. So that would give some thought to how this building was shaped into that topography rather than necessarily, especially the ones that are higher on the hill. As you mentioned, there are 2 on the hill and 1 down flat, but the ones that are higher on the hill so they don't, well, it says avoid placing taller buildings at high points on the sites or other highly visible areas. So you might give it a thought to shape.
Excuse me. I have a question. I'm Matthew Taylor Renner, and I'm with Delkita and the architect on the project. Is the Laurie Oaks residence, which is one of the houses out of the 3, is that also in the mill site hillside zone district?
I don't know all those residences by names. I don't know everybody who lives here.
It's quite a bit south, Cindy. So I think it's actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's down by Capital Prize Mine.
That is correct.
It's near Susan's house.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at a zoning map, and it might have been an outdated one, but it looked like that one was in the historic residential district.
Okay, Cindy, is that going to be one that's a pre?
I don't know which house we're talking about. So
I think it's one kind of up the hill from the dog park. Am I right?
Yes, it's in block 44, I believe.
Yes, lot 2, block 44.
Yeah, you're in the historic residential
Down near where Craig is in Marber building.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's not in a hillside district. No.
Okay. And I do wonder if this house, because this house doesn't have the same, I believe this house does not have the same easement issues that we were talking about in the beginning.
That's correct.
This one, I believe, is clearly on a right of way. So I do wonder if we want to make this house, if we can possibly go through a full approval rather than a pre-approval or a pre-design review.
I don't know which house you're talking about.
Are we still talking about the first house here?
The one that is at lot 2, block 44. And if you have the plans we sent out on the title block, it does say Laurie Oaks residence on the right-hand side.
Okay, and Matt, we actually are doing these as separate applications right now, so we will talk about them.
Okay, so we're just talking about one house right now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we will get to you. Yeah, that's a valid question. So,
We're talking about the 2 houses in block 55.
Okay, so but those 2 houses are considered one application, and then the other one.
No, they're actually both.
They sit next to each other.
Each house would have a separate review.
Okay.
So there'll be 3 separate reviews for these. Okay, so we need the existing topo and then the proposed changes to the topography or the finished ones. And then Bob, you had mentioned you wanted to see an elevation of the houses.
Well, if they could put a rendering together that shows the houses set into the hillside, I think that would be a great help to us.
And actually, Matt, I'm sorry, did you do this in 3D or is it in AutoCAD?
It is in 3D, so I do have renderings started. I have like black and white renderings.
So if I give you civil 3D of the topo, did I overpromise or can we do that?
We should be able to provide something that, better demonstrates how it sits into the topography.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so we want it to kind of be an elevation where we get an idea of how this actually looks altogether visually.
And if we keep going through the hillside stuff, which would apply to the first two houses, essentially, because they're right in the same.
Yeah, they're gonna have the same criteria. I mean.
You're gonna have the same criteria. Because well, I hope that you will. I think that you were not led to the proper guidelines to begin with, and because of the map. So I'm hoping that you will take a look at these so you will know exactly what we are looking at, because they talk about the planning. In the historic areas of town, we want to make sure everything faces the street. When you get in the hillsides, you're trying to sort of tuck things into hillsides, so they don't really have, they can have different orientation, because it's not you're not into the grid of the town, basically. You're beyond the grid of the town. And so we're going to be looking at where it can be seen from, different spots so something that's high and you're likely to be able to see it from all over, or something that's low and fits in. That is on page 14 when it talks about platting and streets and streets and driveway, though my page is a little weird there, and the various views. And the orientation doesn't have to be the same as the orientation on the platted streets. And then landscaping, but of course on a mine dump, that's interesting. So I would say that those things are of high consideration. And now I got to look at.
Okay. And then as far as a preliminary or kind of a conceptual type of review on the building,
because overall, the building is a very let's face the street, let's have a big front gable building, and that may not be where that should go. I'm trying to find block 44 lot.
Yeah, I'm noticing 8-foot doors, which we pretty much frown upon.
What do you prefer, 7-foot door?
Yeah, standard door. I mean, if you want to make it higher with a transom light over it or something, that you could probably work with that.
But, you know, the other thing is there a way to, we have two houses that are 10 feet apart. And that's not the way that neighborhood's set at all. That's it. It doesn't have, is there a way we can reorient a little? And the first house is 30 feet tall, which is big for, it's not necessarily larger than the neighbors that sit down a little lower in the trees, but this doesn't particularly sit in a tree.
It is 30 feet, almost 30 feet tall, but do keep in mind that the lowest level is kind of tucked into the hillside. So by the point you reach the back of the house, the topography is up at that second level.
Yeah, we're like 8 to 10 feet lower than the neighbor to the south, just starting from the bottom. So we're already quite a bit lower than the neighbor to the south of us.
Okay, but I think that you know that the kind of renderings that Joan was asking for would help us see that.
Yeah, I mean, if you overlay, there's like 3 buildings. I mean, it looks like one house, a garage, and then another house. There are 3 buildings in a row that are pretty close to one another.
Right, and I mean, based on the programmatic requirements of what we're trying to fit and the sort of complex terrain here, we're kind of stuck in, this location, and we don't have an opportunity to spread these houses apart, unless we, of course, made the houses smaller.
Which they're small, they're pretty small to begin with. But we actually had Matt rearrange these buildings a little bit just to fit in with the topograph better, essentially. Not to rearrange it as much and to tuck it in more. So he's correct that it's pretty much, they're arranged in a way so that they fit in with the hillside, and there's not a lot of movement unless we really change the topograph of the driveway, which we obviously didn't want to do, especially with the easement.
So this is why it would help us to actually be able to see visually those houses, because they're not there now. It's hard to picture it. See, the surrounding houses and these as they blend in with the existing properties.
And I do think we need to come back to, I think we need to go to this site, Joan. This is a very unusual site for us. This is not driving by one of our lots in the town block and saying, okay, it's on that lot. That's not what we're doing here.
Well,
I'm not too far away, so I'd be happy to meet you ladies with the topograph plans if you'd like. I can show you. We did the surveying, like I said, so I'd be happy to walk you around the site and kind of show you where the stakes are and what they mean and what the plans are.
Okay.
Me too, yeah.
All right, and so I guess because we didn't want to make this a full review, is there, if we move to the structure and comments on, I've heard you, Cindy, what you were saying. Is there anything else in particular that people want to point out?
I think the roof pitch is really, it looks like maybe a 3 or a 412 roof pitch, which we'd like to see 8 or more. The proportions on the windows, there's a fair number of, I guess you would call them picture windows. Like Windows E is kind of the shape that we generally look at. C, F. I mean, the windows are typically not what we look for.
The horizontal windows. And
yeah, the horizontal and the big picture windows without dividers and stuff.
So you would want to see dividers in those?
Or
well,
split them up into
looking for more of a vertical emphasis on the windows.
Vertical windows.
Masses of windows.
And are you talking about like on the south elevation, you want those picture windows?
You look around at the neighborhood, you can tell the windows that we have, wow. And we don't have any picture windows or any windows that size.
So you could
glass garage door.
Are we, I'm still not clear. Are we calling picture windows like on the south elevation where the windows are together?
Are you looking at COA -5?
I'm looking at -6. Where's -5?
I'm looking at COA 4.
Okay, so which one has the picture windows that you're talking about?
Well, there's the one that you look at the plans that have the garage in the house.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Siddiqui residence. You see that on the title block, right?
Yes.
Yes, you're talking about the second house.
Yeah, if you look at those are picture windows over the garage. There's one above on the east elevation, probably the back of the garage.
So we're talking about the other house now?
Yeah, they're looking at. yeah,
Okay,
second
okay,
house.
so we're just trying to kind of give you guys an idea on what all looks like possible things to be worked on. I wasn't even looking at that one yet. So I'm still on COA-7 on Nasir's house, and this is I was talking about the horizontal windows, and we discussed dividing those with divided lights, or even better, breaking them up into separate windows. The horizontal shape is not a particular favorable window shape here. And then on this other one, I need to look.
Yeah, these windows look good. I mean, these are the right proportion that they're, twice as tall as they are wide, basically. That's kind of what.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Nasir Malik residence COA
Yes.
5 on the west
Yeah.
elevation? Okay.
Yeah. Those are basically in that.
Yeah, I think we can easily achieve that look on the other house as well. Perhaps we should focus on one house and then the other. It's been a little
I think
back and forth.
I'm getting confused. So we're still on.
Which one are you on, Joey?
We're on the first house, which is Malik. And as I'm looking at this, which is the east elevation, so it's going to be facing the mountain and not visible from the public. I'm just wondering, it looks like a back garage door, maybe? Is that the garage?
Sorry, we're on the
I'm on the COA-7.
COA-7 east elevation.
Yeah, that's
a door. That's a door that heads into the kitchen.
Okay, and then those two windows to the left of that, they're up over cabinets or something?
Correct, exactly.
Okay. Well, that's not a highly visible side of the house, and you don't have those windows in a lot of other places.
Exactly, no one's going to see it.
So that's not as a deal. What about the windows that are together? Do we want those separated? Like on the south exposure, there's sets of 2 windows together side by side. Would they be better separate, or is that an issue?
So
What we want is so COA-6, there's an upper and a lower window that is 2 sets of windows side by side. It just makes it look more square than rectangular. Does anybody have any preference on that?
Those are, how wide are those windows? I don't see a window schedule. Is there a window schedule on this?
There is. So that's window A, and the window schedule is on sheet COA-2. Yeah, so those are 3 feet wide by 6 feet tall.
Yeah, they're actually technically separate, right, Matt? They actually have a separating piece. They just look like they're together.
Yeah, so we can easily separate them if
Yeah,
I don't think that would cause any issues.
it just gives it that nicer look like the front of the house where the windows are spaced out and separate for a more vertical look.
And would you like to do that? There's the one on the upper level as well.
Yes.
yes.
And so we have all vertical siding.
So if you're looking at COA-5, sort of that right half of the house, that's vertical sort of board and batten siding. And then the left side of the house is horizontal lap siding, where it's shown shaded on the lower part there, kind of by the front door and above the front door. That is a cedar lap siding or cedar tongue and groove. And then in the upper part, and then wrapping around, the side and back is lap. So anywhere you see the horizontal that's lap or tongue and groove, and then anywhere you see vertical is vertical.
And all exterior lighting needs to be full cutoff, dark sky compliant, and the key is full cutoff.
Okay.
stressing that because we keep running into people.
Yeah, I heard that on the last meeting.
Yeah, I actually wanted to have a thumbs up so I could like that comment when Cindy made it. We're dark sky fans.
Yeah.
In any exposed foundation over, concrete foundation over 12 inches needs to be covered with, something stone or metal or, we don't want to see any exposed concrete greater than 12 inches.
12 inches, okay. Yeah, we've kind of got that. We put stone in the front there on the west COA 5, and then you can probably see it's not really called out as anything yet. Where on the COA 6, the south elevation, we'll wrap that in stone as well, where you kind of see, that'll probably be, the wall, the construction will be concrete, so we'll put stone on in front of it.
The same stone as the fireplace.
And stone around the fireplace as well, yeah.
Real stone?
What?
Real stone?
Nasir, what were you thinking on that?
No, it's manufactured stone.
Then we would need to see it.
Absolutely. Would you like to see the colors or would you like to see the material?
We would like to see the actual material that it will look like. There's plenty of sort of lousy, phony stone out there.
No, sure, I can understand that, but rest assured that we will get the manufacturer name and all that. That will be satisfied,
Yeah, a
Cindy?
sample.
Okay,
Sure.
Sure.
And we recommend you look at a architectural shingle roof with a 140-mile-an-hour wind rating.
At least
sounds like a lot, but it's not up here.
We're not kidding.
And I'm assuming you all have copies of the list of exterior materials where we kind of show pictures of the materials.
I did see that. No, I can't find it.
We've talked about roof form on both.
Okay.
Yeah, the material list is on the back of the application.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I knew I saw it. Okay.
And please let us know the slope of the roofs, is this a 512, 612, whatever it is?
I think it's a 312. And so on this house, the reason it is that slope is because we have a 30-foot max zoning height. And I'll have to check that now that I found out we're in a different zone district, but so that's why the slope is what it is.
Are you measuring to the peak?
I'm measuring to the peak and I'm measuring to the average grade plane.
Okay, because it's actually not the peak, right?
Yeah, well, yes, the measurement. Mark, Sean, how do we measure these?
Or a third of the way or something like that?
Midpoint. It's the midpoint of the
Midpoint
roof,
on the
I
roof.
believe.
Midpoint, okay.
Midpoint of the rake.
But we really don't do 312 roofs on houses.
Okay,
It's too flat.
I will try and get the highest slope that I can get.
The guidelines the guidelines for the hillside are looking for a whole low profile. But guidelines that you look at for any of the others are going to tell you that 612 and above.
What are your ceiling heights interior? On this house?
Not terribly high. I think our middle level is the highest. I think it's about 8 or 9 feet because that's our main living area. I think it might be 9 feet ceiling height. So we could maybe lower that a little bit, but I think everywhere else is kind of 7.5, 8 feet, kind of can't really get any lower.
Any other particulars anybody wants to see?
How about window trim? What are we doing around windows?
We'd probably do, if we're doing hardy lap and hardy board and batting, we'd probably just do like a 3 or 4 inch square trim around each window.
Okay.
It's not
And then
shown
how
on
about
here.
corner?
Yet, but I can show that. Sorry, what was
How about
that?
corners of the building?
Yes.
How about the corners?
We should have it at all corners. Wrapping around the corners.
No, corner boards.
I'm sorry. Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
What is the corner boards?
Corner, so where the corner, where the wall meets the corner. Yeah, we'd have two pieces of trim.
What size?
Probably around 3 or 4 inches. I can I'll make sure to specify that on the next time we show you.
Again, what should they be, guys?
Sean, 4 inches?
3.5.
3.5. Okay.
And the thing they call 4 and is 3.5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I assume that size is pretty in keeping with the character of the town.
Yeah, the exposure of the lap siding. Typically like to see 4 or 5 inch exposure.
And no more than 5.
The only other thing I actually had noticed was on the board and batten, and I don't know if this makes sense, since it's such a tall vertical, like on the front, that one section, do we want to have, what do you call it, Mark? You know, like that board that goes around the middle? Or
Belly board?
Or a band, yeah.
do we want to see
Break it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would look good.
okay.
So what's that called?
Belly board
Belly
or
board.
band?
Belly board.
Belly
Yeah,
board.
belly band. Yeah.
Well, gee, I can make that up, guys.
Maybe even 2 of them, kind of one between each level.
Yeah,
I think that would help.
Yeah, I think that would help as well.
okay.
Rush looks like a face.
What were you gonna do for a driveway?
In terms of surfacing,
Yes.
I think Nasir, were you thinking gravel or something like that?
Yes, we were just gonna leave it gravelled, just like the other neighbors have, yes.
Okay. All right. Do we want to like separately? I think we just changed this to a preliminary review. Do we want to have a motion for that? And then we can move to the next one. We've kind of stated the things that we want to see brought back.
All right, did both of those?
Both of what?
Did you do just
We just-
Nasir, or did you do the second house? The
No,
second-
we just did the first one technically. I mean, the same things are going to apply to the second house that we've mentioned probably. But just for the sake of us flipping through papers here and knowing what we're all talking about, we can kind of say that wraps up the first one for Nasir. And Sarah and Matt, I'm assuming you guys have notes on changes and, okay. So,
Yep.
things we want to see more specifically. So do we want a motion on moving on to the next one, or we just want to?
No, I don't think we do for
Okay.
preliminary review.
Okay.
We're just making.
So we will
comments.
be glad to see you back for another review on that project and a final review, hopefully. So moving to the next one, which is on block 55. And do we have Mohammed here, or is this the same? Is that same people?
Yes, it's.
Okay. So let's just so everything that we mentioned on the first one applies to this one.
And particularly the garage door, the garage and it's got a big double door, and we would prefer to see it look like at least 2 singles, even if it is a double. And it does look like a face.
So Bob, just one quick clarification. You said that we can have an 8-foot door, but the top portion has to be a transition from the glass windows, so it kind of breaks away.
The transom.
Transom.
You have a normal 6/8 door.
That was in reference to the main
entry
door, right? Not the garage.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
We can have an 8-foot tall garage door. Is that right? But you want it to be
Yes.
look like 2 separate, or two single car garage doors.
Yeah.
And the windows on the
What
second
would really help this building or this garage, if you put an eyebrow above that garage door, that would take all that vertical out of there.
Are you?
What you're looking at?
So we're looking
I'm looking at COA-4, which is I'm looking at the west side. I'm looking at the front of the garage.
On the wrong plans.
Well, I'm on the wrong plan?
No, we're moved up. We're on Siddiqui, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joan?
Yes.
Joan, I'm sorry, I had my hand up. I just wanted to, before you move on to the next home, could I make a comment?
Yes. And I'm sorry, Mary, because your picture's not even on the screen, so I did not see it.
I know. Sorry. I wanted to just point out, this is on Nasir's home, point out just a couple of things. Sarah stated there would be no change as to the access or the driveway access, and that is very untrue. So I don't know if that changes how the house is going to sit. But it's not how the plans are shown. That's going through 2/3 of my property, and they have 12 feet on the far east end. The other thing is on the plans for the landscaping on the Sears property, they have landscaping shown with boulders set up on our property, which that landscaping won't be there. And I had a question because looking at the plans, it looks like the home is going to be 35 feet tall, rather than, I think it's 30 is the access. I don't know, but by the calculations I did on the plans that were submitted, and those were my only comments.
Okay, so thanks. This is not a final review even on this house. So
Okay.
thanks for those comments, and we'll have those when we review it again. We'll make sure all these
Okay.
issues are looked
All right,
at.
thank you.
You bet. Okay. So we're back to Siddiqui. And
Can the plot plan please make the property lines more clear?
Yes.
Because you've got, I'm looking at the first house at this point. We've got a lot of lines. This is property lines, and this is we've got a lot of lines. So if we could make the property lines very clear, so so we can see where everything is, that would seem to be.
Yes. And we'll make sure there's no boulders or landscaping in the ingress, egress, access easement.
okay. Yeah, that will all be addressed on the final. Okay, so we're talking about the garage.
And you're on the second house?
Yes, yes. And we've already discussed, briefly touched on the picture windows up above need to be more
This has windows.
rectangular and divided instead of big squares of glass.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay, so no big square picture windows. And then Mark was suggesting like a little eyebrow roof over the garage door to sort of separate that
Are
up.
the materials identical to the first house?
They're on the back of the application as
Pretty
well.
similar. Yeah.
They look pretty similar, yeah.
Having an eyebrow over that garage door might be a little tricky because, you know, we're going to have a big structural header over that garage door. And then we've got the floor. But I will see what I can do.
So I'm not sure if you're
Doesn't have to be,
eyebrow like we
it
are.
doesn't
We're
have to
talking
be a
about
big one,
a little
like
roofy
a few
thing that sticks
footer or
out.
something, just something to break up the front, have a little pitch to it. Or else it could be flat, I guess, like your porch.
Oh, did you say a roof there?
Yeah, just
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said window.
Oh,
No.
An eyebrow.
Gotcha. Just similar to what we have over the front door.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Just to break up that plane.
Gotcha.
And then the B windows above that, have those separated and a little bit smaller
Yeah.
on the house itself on the front.
Okay.
What, are you talking about the front of the house, Mark?
Yes.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around.
Yeah, the front of the house though on that, yeah, it looks sort of just out of balance. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason there's that blank wall above the door.
Yeah, there's a closet there. Or actually, no, there's not a closet there anymore. I think there was one point. Yeah, we could certainly add a window there on that blank area. I think that would be advantageous to the look, to the design.
So spread these windows out a little. on the
And
front.
Yeah.
fixing
Maybe,
the
yeah.
windows in the garage so that they're not
Yeah,
squares.
yeah. got
And it looks like the garage is intended to be an accessory living dwelling.
Not really. I don't think that's the intent. We've got like a wet bar there. So it's sort of like an additional like rec room. So I don't think it's intended to be an accessory dwelling unit.
Well, it's showing 2 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs above the garage.
Well,
Yeah.
that will be then like a zoning or a special use issue, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Now, as long as you don't have a kitchen.
No,
Parking.
okay.
Which
And
is not
then,
sure why they set it up this way, because yes, it sort of could be, but as long as you don't have a kitchen, you're not considered.
okay. How about, I looked at
This
the
has 5
topography.
bedrooms.
5 bedrooms.
It is a total of 5 bedrooms. Yep. Actually, 6 bedrooms. Because there's a main bedroom on the first floor.
How about the garage? And I know I looked at the topography. I see why it's where it is. It actually sits out in front of the front edge of the house.
We actually, since I've sent this out, we actually changed this. I got an email from Sarah's engineer for other reasons. We're pushing that back, so that's going to be in line with the front plane of the rest of the house.
Okay, okay.
We're gonna have a ton of retaining walls around this house.
We actually built it into the foundation, so there's really not at all.
Yeah, so basically at the back of the house, if you go to see, this is not fully articulated yet, it's kind of a work in progress, but if you go to COA 2, you see the kitchen there, sort of behind the kitchen, on that north end, or on that the top of the page, that is going to be sort of built into the hillside there. So rather than a retaining wall, it's just sort of be built into it.
How many square feet is the whole place? Just out of curiosity.
It is a total of 2,977.
Big house.
Okay, and roof pitch.
Yeah, this one I think we're better on heights, so we can definitely increase the roof pitch here.
Okay, just for the sake of consistency on the south side, window H on COA 5, window H is kind of the wrong direction there. Could that be more horizontal or 2 windows or something?
Yeah.
Horizontal or vertical?
Yeah, more, I can't remember which one.
You can't remember which direction you're going.
I know. And
that elevation is kind of hidden because it's directly across from the garage.
Yeah.
But I think it's easy enough to just go have a vertical window there as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand sometimes, kitchen arrangements and different kind of things, but if it's possible to not have those horizontal windows, that's a preference.
Yeah, that's just in front of it's in the dining room, so there's no cabinets or anything. You can definitely change there.
Okay.
You can put 2 windows side by side and get the same width.
Right. Yeah.
Break up the big window look.
Okay. So as far as, is there any stone on this one then? Outside?
There is not, I don't believe.
No exposed
stone on this one.
anywhere. Doesn't look like it.
No.
So trims on windows and like the corner boards and all of that are all same as the first one, same.
Correct.
On that. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Okay, so this one as well will be revisited with some additional information then. Okay, everybody good with moving on from that one?
Yep.
Okay.
I really do think that we need to visit this site.
Yes, and Sarah, you said you could do that with us? Okay.
Absolutely.
Matt, you're welcome if you want to, but I think
that we would have to set a time and then we will have to post it.
Okay. So that will take some contacting back and forth to
Yes,
set that all up.
it will, but I think that we should, it's just a very different site from our sites. And
Sure. Okay.
And now that we've taken a deeper look at what's being suggested, is a 2-car garage going to be enough for all those bedrooms?
I think it's someone with a big family, so I think they've just got some big cars.
Minivan.
So if you guys can get in touch with Susan, sorry, Susan, not you, with Jennifer at Town Hall with some contact information so that we can set up a time to do this. whoever is interested to do it, and then we'll do that rather than announcing your info in public here. So we will be happy to do that.
All right.
And now let's move on to Brandon and Lori. And Matt, you were requesting that this actually be a full review?
Yeah, I think that might be possible because this doesn't have the issue of access. I don't think there's any dispute that this is on a public right of way, and
why doesn't it have a number?
I think it just hasn't been done yet. You mean an address?
Yes. Steve, is this in the same position as the other two, or is this one simply going to get an address?
This one will be, this is on a public right of way. It is on actual Bindle Street. And so, yeah, we'll sign an address at the point in time the building permit, sort of like your next application for the commercial site.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And exactly where are we on Biddle Street? Who are we across from? I mean, what are we across from?
I believe it's sort of near the intersection of 10th Street.
And I think it's new construction as well, right?
Yes. This is
So where they're building the new houses down in Washington Mill. It's across from there,
Yes.
uphill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the side of, kind of on the side of the Capital Prize Mine area.
The north side, obviously, Capital Prize.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be east, right?
Yeah.
I gotta get located in my.
Okay, we're in the block of Washington Mills, and it's east of there on Biddle. Okay.
Yep. Kind of like uphill from where that little brick house that is on, what is it? 10th, end of 10th Street.
Mark, can you describe
Uphill.
this?
It's right up next. It's right between the mine and where Susan lives.
Well, Gibbs's house is rather largely in there.
It's on south of there.
It's.
Gibbs' house is south of the mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is between Susan and the mine?
Yep.
So it is right next door to Susan?
I think
somewhat.
Yeah, there might be a lot an empty lot in between or something, but it's.
There's two lots in between the nice old barn and Capital Prize, right? Or three. Three.
It's on that side of
Barn, and then there's a big pit.
Yes.
So it's next to that pit.
Yeah.
Next to the pit?
Next to the pit.
Yeah.
I think the owner is not on the call.
The kids have done the bike thing.
It's pit adjacent.
Where all the kids
Pit
go
house.
ride their
But
bikes.
it
in,
sits
yes.
up on the mine dump.
Oh, and now it's the mine dump house. This is like HGTV, right?
No, but it sits on that mine dump, correct?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I think there might be a big pile of
It's highly visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would be
Okay,
super
so-
visible, as a matter of fact.
Susan and Matt, are you still both doing this one together?
That's Sarah.
Sarah? I know.
Yes, we
Sarah,
are.
everybody
You're in the same roles on
That's
this house.
okay. People call me Susan all the time. I don't know. Susan, do people call you Sarah?
No, this is just such a long meeting. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, they call me Lisa.
As long as they don't call you Karen.
That's right. That's my mom's name. So
all
we
right.
can
well,
go away from the Karen references. I have
Found
enough
it.
reference. We're good.
It was bound to happen. Don't tell that we said that.
I won't. I promise.
All right. So we are going to do a full review on this, guys. So does anybody want to describe this, or do you think you need to point out anything pertinent now that we know where we are?
I think that it's pretty straightforward. It's a really simple, much smaller than the other ones. Really simple plan. So I think the plans kind of speak for themselves. I'm hoping that a lot of the things you said that this one meets with some modifications. I think we've got mostly vertical, smaller punched openings. I see our front entry door is 8 feet high, so we'll probably change that to a 7 foot with a transom above.
Okay. The roof pitch, you've got a 512?
I saw it.
Yes, it's 5 3/4 to 12, so just under 6.
Close to a 612.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, not kidding about those high wind shingles.
Yeah.
Yep. I need a ruler.
What are we looking at?
I'm looking at the distance the window is off the sides. Yeah, those 3 windows are centered. Is that window up at the top there necessary?
It's not absolutely necessary, no.
On the left by the fireplace?
Oh, the thing called C.
Up in the gable there. No, that's not. It's just there for extra.
Well, if I was going to do anything to it, I would turn it so it was a vertical window, not a horizontal window, if you want to have it there. But if it is not necessary, you are doing a different pattern. And when you say shaker siding, because you're now, yes, you are in the historic zone. So we're going to get more particular about your materials.
If you look at the material list that we did for this one, there's a sample of that shaker hardy board makes a shaker style type of siding, and that's what that is.
So it looks like shake shingles.
Material list.
Yeah, it
on
looks
the
like
back of the application. And so it's this comes in all one piece, or are they actually shingles?
I do not know for sure.
Well, I think if they're a painted fiber cement shaker, they come in panels.
Some in panels. They come in panels.
But they make. I think it's designed to look.
Yeah.
At least in this one, random. I think they have other options as well.
Yeah, the panels overlap. You can't really tell. It's just a little hardier. Well, no pun intended, I guess.
See, I told you it's getting late.
Okay,
If it would be better, I think we could do vertical in that little top portion. I think it helps to break it up. But we could do like vertical board and batten as well there.
no, you don't have any vertical board and bat on this house, right?
Correct.
No, I'd leave the shingles. It's I would either remove the window or turn it in the other direction up under that pitch.
Okay.
And I'd try to raise the pitch just slightly, if we can raise the pitch just slightly.
Okay.
And the other thing, what is the lap on the lap siding?
It would be hardy lap siding or something similar.
What is the exposure on it?
We would do 4 to 5 inch, like you mentioned.
Okay. And the corner boards?
Same as we talked about before, 3.5 inch trim around corners and around windows.
Okay, is that what that trim around the windows? Are we going to get a wood frame or what kind of a frame on those windows?
That would also be the hardy trim.
Probably be the 5/4 stuff.
Yeah. So it doesn't. It's in line with the forward facing edge of the lap. It doesn't stick out really at all.
It doesn't?
Correct.
So it'd be a 4/4 rather than a 5/4.
So the windows are sort of just sunk into the siding?
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it sounded
The
like.
flange sits just behind it and then the trim's like just in front.
So the trim is flush with the siding.
Yeah.
It's flush with the siding, yes, what it sounded
Yeah.
like.
What about vinyl or similar windows?
So yeah, we're looking at vinyl windows. I think she wanted them white framed. Yeah.
Can we do that?
But I'm back to the window. Don't we want our window frames to be framed out from our
Yeah, out
siding
of
a bit?
siding. Usually we go with the 5/4 and then you get about a 1/4 inch reveal around the windows with the 5/4 trim over the siding.
So you want the siding, you want the trim to stick out a little more than the
Yeah.
siding?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in the historic district, it has a reveal against the siding, so the siding is
And just for the windows or for the corner trim as well?
windows and corners.
And corner trim, yeah.
And would
On the
that,
corner trim, we might go with a little wider board than a 3.5 inch, just to give it some dimension.
Yeah,
Just on the corner boards, yeah.
like a 6 inch and a 4 inch.
Corners. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at the north elevation, COA 6. And again, we have the little horizontal windows. Are those necessary to the plan somehow?
they can most definitely be changed to vertical.
Okay.
I don't think we want to delete them, those two, but
No,
That's
it's not
that's
actually-
okay. So my
That's not going to be a terribly visible side, but still.
well, if there's other lots up there though. So
Actually, coming up Biddle, it may be visible.
Oh, that's true. I'm on the north side, right?
yeah, that's north.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, it would be.
Are vinyl windows going to work up there? It's a historic district, right?
They certainly wouldn't work on
We
any
don't
old
suggest
house,
them.
and in general. Right.
Do they need to be wood?
How about fiberglass?
Or
Yeah, that would be stronger. And then we could trim them out
fiberglass,
yeah.
yeah.
for
But-
wind.
It's
And if we're doing this for real, we have to go to book 2 and start on page 9.
we are doing this for real today.
Yeah,
Good
so we
idea.
need to be on book 2, page 9, because we have to go through all of this then.
Yeah. I was just kind of looking around first. So we usually kind of look through and point out stuff, and then do we want to start going with guidelines then?
I would think so, because we're going to have to go into landscape and site features and the whole
Okay.
game, and the
All right.
setting and
So-
is there a
Okay.
landscape plan that goes with this?
Yes, on sheets, COA 2.
Right now, the ground is,
Frozen.
So this site is really pretty flat already.
yeah, it's totally flat, but it is tailings, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, will you do an environmental before you dig a hole?
I do not know the answer to that. Is Nasir still on?
I think that was required of the Washington Mill site. I'm not sure. Matter of fact,
It was.
it was.
Do we know their findings?
That's not our department, so
Okay.
I don't know their findings, but I do know, that's a forewarn because when you dig into, the whole county basically is a Superfund site. So, well, there are a lot of places in it that are. And so when you dig into any form of tailings, I do believe that the developer of Washington Mill site was required to do an environmental.
Perfect.
And so I would think a similar thing would happen, and that's going to happen before a building permit would be issued.
Sure.
That's not our visuals, but that's another thing that's out
But
there.
thank you. Yes, appreciate the tip.
Yeah.
Cindy, what page are you starting on?
9 in book 2,
Okay.
historic
you.
residential character area. Because I don't think, I didn't look, but historic hillside, I think, starts in back of this house. Because Biddle Street, all the lots in Biddle Street are, it's only when you get into the high verticals that it goes into the hillside behind the historic hillside.
It's really hard to tell on the little map we have.
I know. But you see where Biddle Street is.
Yeah, so
It's one of those front lots on Biddle Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're still in historic residential.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So new construction should appear, I'm on page 9, it is chapter 1, section 1, mass and size. New construction should appear similar in mass and size to historic structures found in the character area. I think we are asking him if he can pull the pitch of this roof up. It says new construction should be within 5 feet of the average height of historic structures within the immediate neighborhood. Actually, that's sort of an interesting difficulty because the historic structures you have in that neighborhood relate to the mine and relate to things that are way far below you and relate to the Nisel house that is next, right down from you.
Well, the surrounding neighborhood is Washington Mill now.
Yeah, it's the historic structures.
Yeah.
None of them are historic structures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when this house is built, there really won't be any other houses right nearby it.
No.
Right next to it. if you
Yeah,
will.
no, not right next to it, but 300 feet takes you a ways away. But C, the facade should appear similar in dimension to those seen historically, and it does. Going on to page 10, section 2. Use building forms that are similar to those found. This is A. A1, vertically oriented rectangular shapes are typically encouraged.
And this, if they did put a steeper pitch on it, it would have more vertical look to it.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
So I think, we take another look at that 5 3/4 slope and bringing it up some would be, and I think you got plenty of height to be able to do that.
And actually, I think because.
So actually, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, because we have asked for changes, we're going to need to see a redrawn set of with facades and with the pitch and with the windows.
Yeah, the windows and the doors. I mean, I noticed that the 6-foot slider in the back is 8 feet high, and that's not going to fly.
Okay.
So
we can do a 7 feet with a transom.
If we can finish our sightings though tonight, then it's a quick review of the drawing and the changes being made that we can do next time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just
Then I will keep going. The use of tradition, 2B, page 10. Are you with me, Susan? Okay, thanks. The traditional roof forms, B1. Most primary roofs have pitches of 912, although some are as low as 712. So essentially, that's our goal in the 6 and 712 range.
So I actually noticed, I believe the max height from zoning, the zoning requirements is 25 feet. And we are currently at just under 25 feet. But like you said, I need to look at the measurement for that, where that measures to, because I have it to the peak right now. So that's
the center of the gable.
Yeah.
You can go, it measures at the center of the gable.
okay. So I should be able to increase the.
You should be able to increase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. The B4 orient ridge lines parallel and perpendicular, parallel to the floor planes and perpendicular to the street. And so, yes, you are this way to the street. And so that's, there are no dormers, roofs similar in size to those that are used historically is D. The length of the roof ridge should not exceed those seen historically, and that's true. Maximum ridge length is about 35, 40 feet. Well, how much roof length do we have in there?
Ours is 28 feet.
Yeah, so it's in that range. That's D1. Building setbacks on page 11, section 3. Maintain the alignment of the building fronts along the streets. Essentially, the building should face the street, and it does. Okay. Then we have to go to section 2, guidelines for the setting. I'm on page 42, number 1, natural resources, you don't have many. I don't think there's any existing vegetation on that site, is there?
No.
I think so.
Okay, on-site hazards. 2, incorporate on-site hazard mitigation into the overall design concept. And they're not talking about the on-site that I was talking about. You don't have on-site, you don't have gullies or those kinds of hazards.
Well, you have on the south side, you have the pit. I don't know how deep, I don't know if that's a hazard or not.
But it's not theirs
I don't know
either.
Part of
So
Part of it is.
we purposely oriented the house towards the north end of the site to stay as far away from the pit as we could. Because we knew that could be a problem.
Does the pit with you?
Sorry, what's that?
Pit, part of it does.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we're further from this, Matt. I need to get you the latest survey in topo. I don't think it's this close.
Okay.
Well, can we put that on for the re-review?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you may just want to put some of the, excavation material over there and build that up a little bit.
And site drainage is going to be important, though. You're going to, I don't know how you're building up this
Yeah, we
site.
need to see the site drainage plan. So we need to add that to your list. We'll need to see the site drainage plan.
Got it. Thank you.
And that's on 3. And significant views, they'll have a fabulous view from up there, actually. But they're not in anybody else's, they're not blocking anybody else's view, which is the point of that one. On page 44, the building orientation, you've got it, that's number 5. You've got a project should be designed, and this is B, a project should be designed to provide an attractive street edge, and they're attempting to create sort of attractive street edge, obviously, with this house. C, orient a new building parallel to its lot lines, and it is. D, orient the primary structure of entrance of a building towards the street, and it is, and it should have a B1. Its entrance faces the street. B2, the gable end faces the street. Building setback. It says, that's section 6 on page 45. A, maintain the pattern of alignment for building fronts in the character area. It is similar. I mean, we have a lot of our houses are within 10 feet of the front lines. Some of them are even closer. Okay, decks and balconies and porches. We don't have.
There's a front deck.
Front porch.
Yeah, there's a front porch with that overhang there.
How big are those posts?
I think they're about like 6 by 6 or so.
Be nice, substantial, not.
Yeah, I'll call that out on the plans.
These two. And those are wood exposed?
Correct, yeah, exposed timber. Probably a nice Doug fir or something like that. And then we're looking at a wood deck.
The porch floor.
Underneath that overhang, yeah.
Yeah.
Then when I've gone to chapter 6, landscaping and site features.
Cindy, did you cover up your microphone or bump your volume?
I don't think so.
Okay, you just sound more distant now.
Yeah, you got pretty quiet.
Am I still quiet?
Yeah.
Am I still quiet?
Yeah.
I mean, we can hear you, but you were much louder a while ago. I just wondered if something got put in front of your microphone.
Not that, well, I stuck the pages there, but I take them off. So it should be all right.
Okay, we'll just speak loudly.
If you can't hear, somebody should continue. I'm on page 48.
Page 48. Just speak up. I think we're okay.
Okay. It said preserve historic landscape features. Yeah, right.
There's nothing there.
That's not quite what we're doing in this lot. Incorporate established plantings into new projects, but in new landscape designs, use plant materials. This is C. Use plant materials that are compatible with the historic context of Georgetown. I mean, plant native plants.
Yeah.
Because anything else is just, nothing probably, trees won't grow, incidentally. I mean, half of my yard is a blocked in mine dump. And the roots get down, the tree appears to grow for a couple of years and it just doesn't make it because it can't make it. So if they're planting things, bushes that they see around town that have made it. So you do have a landscaping scheme in here, I see.
Yeah.
and that would be appreciated.
Looks like evergreen and aspens. It might require putting in some decent soil in those spots, since that's why there's nothing growing there, because of those tailings.
Yeah, yes, but what happens is the roots gets down and they are absorbing too many minerals in their root systems, and so they don't grow.
Now, those evergreens don't really have that much roots.
So maybe
Yeah.
the aspens may do better.
Would it be acceptable to not have any large trees and just do shrubs?
Whatever will grow there is
Whatever will grow there, if they can get something to grow there, and you know, evergreen trees are a real investment, and I would try one of them and see how you do. I wouldn't go
Right.
out investing in a whole bunch of them.
Right.
You know, the aspen trees would be lovely.
Yeah, they should do okay.
Yeah. We've kept the turf sod area really just a little bit in the front, and then in the fenced area in the back, because I did see that it promoted more native grasses and things like that.
Right. And on page 49, it's the F, maintain the landscape edging along the edge of the site. And that's sort of what you've tried to do, is give it
Oh, now she's loud.
Yeah. You're back.
And interior walkways. Do you have a walkway coming up to the house?
We do, yes, just straight up from the front door to the street.
And right now you're saying that's stone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get any sightings on page 49, Cindy.
All right, the page 49 is F. Landscaped edge, defining the road edge. And G, define your interior walkway and just distinguish them from public sidewalks. You're not going to get a public sidewalk, so it is distinguished. And you don't have a patio on any part of this. J, you have a well, we call that a front porch, so never mind. It's not a deck, it's a porch.
Yeah, and it is at ground level.
Yes, that makes it a porch, not a
Yeah.
deck. Retaining walls, there are no retaining walls on this, are there?
Correct.
All right. Fences, there is a picket fence somewhere, did I see?
Yes, basically a square in the back of the house.
Okay, and that is what height?
It is 3 foot high.
All right, so on page 52 in section 3, fences, walls, and gates, a new fence should be similar in character to those seen historically, and it is. And a fence that defines a front yard or a side, well, that's corner lot. A fence should be painted. Is this a wood fence?
I don't think we've called it out, but yes, I would think we were thinking a painted wood fence.
Okay, because it says the wood fence should be painted, that's B4. Is there a gate?
Yes, there is a gate.
The gate should be made in the same material and design as the fence.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't get a whole different gate.
The intent, yeah. And if you look at the south elevation or any of the elevations, really, they kind of show that it's, you know, a pretty traditional looking picket fence with.
It's a very traditional looking picket fence.
With some ornament on top.
All right, we don't have sidewalks to worry about. This house does not have a garage.
Correct.
And its driveway is gravel.
Yes.
Okay, then when we get to page 55, number 6, residential parking and garages. Avoid parking, avoid parking in the front yard, and you are pulling alongside the house.
Correct, yeah.
Parking right directly in front, that's A. And A1. And on page 56, E. Use paving materials, minimize the impact of the driveway. Gravel, brick, chip, and seal are appropriate, so you've got a gravel one. And that's E1. Are there vents on this house anywhere? Getting there.
There's a chimney vent out at the top of the chimney.
But you will have heat vents and those kinds of things?
Yeah, there'll most likely be some vents, and I heard on your previous meeting that that should be painted, no exposed.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
No shiny
page
metal.
58, number 9, minimize the visual impacts for utility and service equipment. Minimize the A3, minimize the visual impacts of vents and exhaust hoods by integrating them into the building designs. And A6, any utility device should have a matte or non-reflective finish and be integrated with the building's colors.
Okay,
So-
I will add those notes to our plans.
And yeah, place your electrical wire underground where feasible. Boy, I wish we could do that, couldn't I?
Gutters on the house.
Yeah, there'll most certainly be gutters on the north and south side, and
Those need to be painted as well. Nothing shiny to blend in.
And we prefer the half rounds. Yep.
okay.
And okay, then I move to chapter 7 and architectural character. And A is respecting the sense of time and place, but without over decorating yourself. That's B, avoid stylistic ornamentation that confuses the history of Georgetown. In other words, we don't want a ton of, you've made a nice, plain, simple house. We don't want a ton of additional Victorian details because it isn't really a historic house. And so that's appreciated. Then on page 67, directional emphasis, buildings should have a vertical emphasis. Doors and window openings should reinforce the vertical emphasis of a building, and that's B. And page 67, number 5 is roofs. And it's just, it's talking about need to be gabled hips or hips, and you've got a gable.
Writing.
Just the paragraph under 5.
Okay. Sorry,
Is that me buzzing or you, John?
it was me. Summit County has rolling blackouts. Why they alerted us to that, I'm not sure, but
Thank you. All right, page 68, doors, windows, other openings. And it's actually page 60. Turns out to be page 70. Doors and windows should be finished with trim elements similar to those used traditionally. which that's why we want reveal on the frames.
Okay.
And do the windows, yeah, the windows have, some of them have triple lights in the top and a single at the bottom.
Yeah. Yep. All the single hung windows, they're triple lights at the top and then no panes at the bottom.
I'll let somebody else comment on that if they wish.
4 and 1, 4 over 1 would be more traditional for the town than the 3 at the top.
So, okay, 4 on the top and then one pane down the middle on the bottom.
I think it could be just one pane at the bottom, can't it?
Yeah, we see
Yes.
that a lot.
But the 4 that she's talking about are 2 over 2s. They're not 4 slices.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
No, I was talking about 4 on the
It's
top.
like the
pane.
windows and COA 8, just like the second story windows. But she's meaning 2 over 2.
Yeah, but she's meaning that on these that you have all of the 3.
Instead of
Joan,
3,
Are you saying they should be 4?
yeah, 4 on the top and then 1 at the bottom.
Yes,
Isn't
but the 4 is 2 over 2, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
top sash would be like have a
Yeah,
cross in the
so
middle
there's
of it.
4 panes on the top half of the window. And then the bottom
And one on
window
the bottom.
is just
Yeah.
one.
So you have essentially 4 of them on the top. And then the
Gotcha.
bottom is empty, right?
Yeah, isn't that 4 over 1?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
All right, page 71 is porches. Actually, it's page 72.
I'm sorry, what did you have for page 70? I don't have anything there.
I have nothing on 70.
Okay. That's why I have nothing.
I think it's
J.
just
I,
Oh, yes.
You had J.
I did have
I
something.
and
Yeah.
J.
I and J. Okay.
We probably should include it I.
Yes.
The new opening should be similar in location, size, and type of those seen traditionally.
Yes.
So that covers changing all those little horizontal windows.
Yes, it does. Into little vertical windows. Okay.
Page 71.
Yes, porches, awnings, decks, and patios, and actually, I'm on page 72. D, the use of a porch on any new residential building is strongly encouraged. Building foundations is section 8. Will more than 12 inches of this foundation be exposed anywhere?
No, it should not be.
All right, then we're not worried about it. Chimneys. Is this chimney, is a stone wrap chimney?
Yes.
Correct, yes.
We would need, if that's artificial stone, we would need to physically see a sample of that stone.
Is that something that you would need to see before the next meeting
Or at the next meeting?
or at the next?
Or drop it off at town hall and somebody just tells us it's there and it's up to us to go?
Okay.
Yeah, because if you just hold it up to the camera, we've got a picture of it. So
Yeah,
it'd be
no.
better if we could just see it down at town hall.
I mean, is that okay if we can send you the link of the manufacturer and the picture and the model number so that way you want to see actual
I
material?
want to see a physical piece of it.
With this COVID, actually, it's hard to, but we will try our best. You know, what they gave you today, 3 months, 6 months down the road, sometimes they don't have it. So I just don't want to. So I want to make sure that.
Could bring
Mark-
two
Mark
options,
and-
maybe.
Mark and Sean, are you familiar enough with it? If they did send a link, we'd be familiar with the product that we've approved or not before?
Probably.
Probably, yeah, close.
Yeah, do that first. And I mean, if we're not, we can
Yeah.
always,
It's not gonna hold the project up, so.
Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that. Okay, section 8, Cindy.
Yeah, I'm in section 8, wood and siding. Because a lot of this, of course, is about preserving historic buildings. Because we have traditionally said that we can
Why don't we just make a stipulation that we need to know what kind of siding, manufacturer.
Do we not know that yet?
Yes, he's using we don't know what kind, right?
We're looking at a hardy siding. We'll sort of confirm that. I'll confirm that with Nasir later. And we'll
Okay.
get a specific model.
So we do need a specific on the siding, and the typical lap is the 10, between 4 and 5 inch exposure.
the smooth, the smooth hardy lap siding as opposed to the texture.
Smooth is preferred. Okay.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking anyway.
Cindy, if you go to page 81, it talks about new building materials.
Okay, yes, that would be a better place to be at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So this goes essentially for your wood and your hardy board and your stone. Okay, page 81 is section 5 and it's D. Newer synthetic materials may be considered if they appear similar in character and detailing to the traditional building materials. And that's why hardy board works, because of it appears, and that's why we want the smooth and the reveal to be right, and why we want the framing to be in around windows.
And you may have to go to another manufacturer. Hardy's getting harder to get.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's a few other manufacturers. I kind of just throw hardy around as like a term that everyone knows, but yeah.
It's kind of like Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Or Kleenex.
But you will let, or Kleenex, right? You will let us know who you're going with,
Okay.
please.
We'll figure that out. Yeah.
So I'm thinking A and A1 and B2.
And B2, yes.
Okay.
And F on page 82.
Okay. So that just covers materials that you wanted to use as far as and the lap on the horizontal siding.
Got it. Thank you.
Right, and then the 6 on page 82 is C. But C1 says 30-year or greater composite shingles. That's 50-year or greater than composite shingles. And that's because of the wind, and the building folks have sort of said that's got to be in this high wind world.
The key is the 140-mile-an-hour wind rating.
Yes. And on page 83, gutters and downspouts are appropriate if painted to match this, the structure.
Okay, is there a metal roof on the porch?
There is, yes.
So we need D and D1.
Metal roof has to have an earth tone and have a matte non-reflective finish. So we can't get a white metal roof on it.
All right. Nor like a matte black would probably not work.
A matte black would work fine. It's the earth tone, which is dark tone, and a matte finish.
Okay.
And the standing edges, the edges of a standing seam metal roof should be bent downward at the edge of the roof. In the most cases, the gutter would hide that detail, but they should do that. And roofing with visible fasteners is inappropriate, but I don't see many of those.
Yeah, no, we're looking at concealed fastener
Yes,
roofs.
sure. Yeah, I mean, we don't see many visible fasteners anymore. Okay, we're not doing accessory structures, and I think that's it.
Okay, we got E for gutters, right?
Yes, E for
Okay.
gutters.
And E2. And E2 says, consider the half round, more historic shape on the gutter.
Did we land on the material for the windows?
I think that they were going to come back to us with that.
We're leaning towards fiberglass.
Okay.
So there are a number of things that do have to come back, Matt. But yeah, we've gone through the whole routine to basically when we have all of the missing pieces to move forward.
Okay, great.
But we will sort of need to see a little bit of revised drawings. And so, Susan, can we mark it down to make sure this is on the next agenda?
I will make a note.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Sarah, you got notes on all that, the things that we had to address as far as materials, site drainage, the particulars we wanted to see. Okay. Great.
That's correct, John.
Okay.
So do we want to table this for the next meeting? Is that where we're going?
I think that Joan has a list.
No, I have the list, but I'll keep that here and I've got the citing, so I'll save that for next time. Then we just want the revised drawings with the changes that we discussed. So yes, we are tabling this to come back.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I would make a motion to table this till the next meeting. Mark?
Do I hear
A second?
all
Sean?
in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay, great. So if you could just get that back to Jennifer, so we know when we can take a look at it the next time.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Happy New
Thank
Year.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a very blessed and happy new year to you all. Thank you. Sorry
Thank
for
you.
keeping you guys so long.
Happens.
Okay, so I have 4 people that I'm going to promote here. And then if you could just chit chat for a minute, I have to have a restroom break.
Okay, talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Shall I give them a topic? Okay.
Here they
so-
come.
All right. Still shuffling with my papers here.
Hey, guys, this is Dave. Let me know when you guys are ready for us.
Okay, our recorder had to take a quick break, so we would be
I heard.
back any moment. We need that music that we can play, for.
This has been a difficult night. I'm in Morrison. My power's been going on and off all night. So
Oh, no.
I'm
Sometimes
running with a generator right now.
oh my gosh, okay.
And we're sorry, it was a very long agenda.
Yeah, it was bad. And actually, in case you get cut off again or something, you can do this on your phone too. You could call in. So if we lose you, we'll wait.
Caught a little news blurb that there's over 650 houses going.
I heard that.
up
They
in Boulder.
evacuated.
Oh, he's got it on
It's
downstairs.
crazy.
Yeah, they evacuated 80,000 people. Louisville and Superior, the whole towns.
Crazy.
Yeah,
It's very scary, guys.
it is. I know the news
Yeah.
people, when you saw their picture, it was just everything was on fire behind them. Awful.
Very scary.
And there's so much grass south of Boulder. I'm surprised that hadn't happened before.
Mm.
Yeah. It's like almost like a fire on the plains, Mark, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it reminds you of.
Okay,
A
so
wall of fire.
David, you're on, and who else is on for this?
Okay, I'm on, and Charles Moore is my partner. He's on, I see, and I can't see if there's anyone else. Let's see.
Billy?
Yeah, Billy is my partner on this as well.
Okay,
So I guess it's the three of us.
okay, great.
Great. So we came in front of you guys, I don't know, 4 months ago for this encroachment for our parking lot.
Uh-huh.
And we were granted that at that point in time. We just had a sketch of a building design. We're not very far on it. I really want to kind of pick your brain on overall image and style before we get too far down the road. The shape.
So we're doing more of a conceptual or a preliminary review? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. We don't need to, we're not looking for full approval or anything today. I
Okay.
just want to make sure we're on the right path. I mean, the site is pretty tight. It is what it is. And the building is where we're putting it. I don't think it can move really too much here or there. And we're really just trying to make sure we got the right image as we move this project forward.
Dave,
Yeah.
Dave, I need to, this is Cindy. I have another hat for the town of Georgetown.
Hey, is Susan back yet?
No, but she doesn't have to record this.
Okay, I just want to, oh, there she is. Okay. I just want to make sure we don't have to backtrack on stuff.
But given David said that what he wanted was background, if I could take off my DRC hat for just a minute. What I do is help the town by writing grants and doing things like that for special projects, lots of them infrastructure projects.
Okay.
And I know the Board of Selectmen said to you they didn't see anything happening to Argentine Street in the foreseeable future. But quite honestly, infrastructure money is becoming available, not only through the federal government, but through the state government. And the eventual plan from 15th to 22nd Street includes putting a sidewalk on the opposite shore from you on the east side of the street. And yes, it does have the bike path on your side of the street, but it also, that street is highly trafficked now with the people down there, and it serves as the frontage road. So there is the thought that that street should at least have a little bit of shoulder on each side of it. That could conceivably create some problems and I know you have an encroachment license, but I also know the town still has the right to fix the street. And so I'm in the spot at the moment, as a matter of fact, of putting together potentially a plan to try to acquire the funds to do the sidewalk, to finish the bikeway from 15th Street to 22nd Street. Because we need to strike while the federal and state monies have potential. So at some point, though not tonight, I think that I would really like to have a side conversation with you about how that works out for your project.
Okay. Well, we agreed to put in the bike lane on our property here, right?
Right, it's on the town's property, actually, because.
Right. But we agreed to pay for that and install that.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that we might need about 5 feet there more than, we might get into your encroachment license by about 5 feet because we're not going to move the road. So if we have to put a little piece of shoulder on it, it's going to encroach on that piece.
So we are showing a 5-foot buffer. You realize that between the road.
I do, but that would have to exist from a shoulder also. That's a requirement of the Greenway. That it can't be directly attached. So at some point, I think we should talk about the building tonight because that's what the DRC does. But I think at some point it would be good for us to have a side conversation about the whole road plan. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough.
I want you to be aware of it. I don't want it to come out of some, So now I'll put my other hat back on.
Okay, so what we are proposing again is a tall 1-story commercial building. We're in the Gateway Commercial District. I haven't seen one nice looking building in the Gateway Commercial District currently. And when you look at your guidelines, and you look at what the buildings there's nothing that we want to replicate in that district whatsoever, unless you tell me there's something that I'm missing. So we've come up with a design that meets an 8/12 pitch roof that has brick, that has board and batten siding, that has quite a few elements, gable elements defining the entrances to the units. We understand the wind is really fierce there. My partners, Chuck and Billy, who are on the phone with us, own some townhomes in Bighorn right across the street from this, and their windows have been blown out, I think probably 4 times already. Mm-hmm. So we get it. I'd like to do really hardy materials, perhaps hardy board, but it'll be a cement board, vertical board and batten siding, brick. We're calling out the ballpark brick. That seems to be a good red brick mix. We've used that for the past 10, 15 years throughout the region. We haven't really picked colors yet of the rest of the building, but we're looking at I know we're calling out vinyl windows on here, but I think we're probably going to go more with a commercial storefront style windows because they're bigger pieces of glass. It would probably be aluminum frame windows, down lights, dark sky down lights, signage over the entrances. We want to have some signage on the highway as well on the backside of the building. The backside, we have similar gables, but I did not bring the windows all the way down to the ground. Didn't seem like that was really necessary. And we need to have a little bit of back of house space inside the units themselves as well. So this is like I said, our preliminary design of the exterior and just trying to get some feedback from you guys.
All right, so it says west elevation, which is actually the east elevation and vice versa.
South, you're right, you're east. Yeah, east elevation, Argentine, correct? Sorry.
Yeah.
You're on the west side of Argentine.
Right.
So your front faces Argentine and that is the east side.
Elevation, yes.
Just switch east and west.
Yeah.
East and west.
And the south is towards downtown and the north is away from.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's both Philly.
Not to be picky, but when we all get to talking, then we know what we're talking about. So you're actually gonna do asphalt shingles on the whole thing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would normally like to do metal roof. It's too cut up for me to want to do a metal roof on this.
Oh,
Yeah, you have too many.
Yeah,
Lots of valleys.
Yep, lots of valleys.
I like it. I think you've done an outstanding job. It looks really good.
yeah, it is better than pretty much everything else that's down there.
Now, I would have to say though that I think that it has something in common with a visitor center, which I don't find to be a terrible looking building.
No, I was not including the visitor center in that, but you know, there's a lot of,
that David wasn't either.
no.
I wasn't either. I was talking about this on Argentine there.
Well, David, you appreciate stuff was here way before the historic district and everything, and we can't make people get rid of it now.
For sure.
But, yeah, so yeah, you deal with what was here and move forward. Yeah, I like this.
No, I think that if you're after, are you on the right track? I think that yeah, with both in materials and scale, very definitely on the right track with and also with building form. I think that, yeah, the one thing I wrote on mine was that a lot of the materials things said, you know, well, we have to talk to the owner about it to know whether this is really going to happen. And so you're right. We have to sort of get it down to specifics before there is a final decision on this.
Sure. Well, and just besides the fact I'm the architect, I'm also the developer and owner of this, along with my couple partners. So we'll have a lot of say. I've been a general contractor in the metro area for almost 30 years and an architect for just as long. And so we'll try to, do a quality product that it's our intent to own this for quite a long time. We're working with a few different groups for tenants. And one of the ones is a local Colorado snowboard manufacturer that wants to do a retail shop here. That would be their first retail shop. We're also talking to a pizza establishment, pizza restaurant that has, I think they're on their sixth, their local pizza restaurant that has their 6 different locations in Denver and Boulder now, maybe 5 if we talk about Boulder. But and then we'd love to get a urgent care center. That's really our goal, to get this the southmost corner unit as an urgent care center. So that's really going to be a big push. Once we get this a little bit further along, we'll apply for building permit as well as start really marketing heavy. We don't need the tenants to start construction, but it would be great to have someone lined up for a long-term lease. So
yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
And David, your signs would be, I think what we would like to have is a uniform sign plan.
Sure.
So there's an overall sign plan, so we don't have your tenants applying for their own signs.
Okay. I mean, I think what we're showing, a series of similar signs or the same signs, and we probably, I mean, I've been a landlord long enough to know I love the look of the individual letters, but I hate when tenants move, then I have holes all over my building. So I prefer to do a sign box. The new sign boxes are all LED. They're very shallow. And then we'd have a uniform front on them. I haven't delved deep into your sign code, if there is such an animal.
There is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We'll make sure we're in compliance with that as we move forward. Would that be part of the COA application, or is that a separate application?
Actually, for individual signs, they usually don't come to us as long as they meet the code.
Okay.
But if it's a development that wants a sign plan,
Mm-hmm.
that is consistent, then yes. For instance, we did the signs that are on the Cabin Creek Brewery, and we did the signs that are on the Microtel.
Okay.
As a whole sign plan. The sign, it's section 18 of our town code.
Okay.
And yes, there is a section specifically for the gateway commercial.
Okay. Just in what you're looking at here with signs obviously on the Argentine side, and we have signs on the highway side as well. Is there any issue with that? that you see?
I don't believe there's any issue with that. The code has square footage ratio dependent on your frontage.
I'm sorry, square footage depending on frontage?
Yes, depending on building frontage, I think, and there is definite height limitations on the monument sign.
Okay, yeah, I'm not even.
I can't quote all that to you, but
Sure.
those exist.
Okay. And we would count, obviously, the Argentina's frontage, and I guess I would count I-70 as frontage, right?
No, I don't think you get to count both as frontage. I think
Public right away, no?
I think sorry, Cindy, I think it's this, okay, so literally the size across the unit that the sign goes to, not the whole building. So the larger unit there on the south end could feasibly have a larger sign. The one in the back would apply to the size of that wall, correct? So it's not, no?
I'm not sure, and I don't want to mislead.
Okay.
I think
it is detailed in there. Yeah, it is
So
detailed.
I'll look at it. And if we're going to do an overall building sign plan, and let's just say, I don't even know what the distance is. If I have 100 feet of building, I get blank square feet of sign.
Right.
I would believe that it would be distributed as we need it, not necessarily the big unit gets more signage than the little unit.
Correct.
Right. If I'm doing an overall sign plan, it seems like I should be able to distribute it as needed.
I would say that's correct, because at that point, this is one building.
Right.
It has 4 sections, but it is one building. So
divided into 4.
So do take a look at code 18, and when it's time, to look at a sign plan, we will also know what that says.
Could I put that on in like within the next submittal? Like, so the next submittal would be similar to this, but much more detailed as I see it.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Great. I heard you guys talking about, the shapes of windows, and obviously those were different districts. And I do have these linear windows on the back on I-70. I just feel like there's no reason to have big windows there.
No, I don't think that there is.
Yeah, you're in a completely different district, like you said. Too.
Yeah. I tried to just match the shapes of the other transoms on the front to kind of keep it consistent as well. Okay.
I think it looks good. And as there is a way to get a hold of you, yes. I would suspect you are the phone number on the plans, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
For sure. And I'll keep on trucking along a little bit. I know that I heard you pretty loud and clear about the Argentine right of way, and I'll see if there's a way to sneak a little bit more space out in front between the asphalt and the Peak to Plains Trail for potential future need. So we don't have to redo lots later. But if I can get another 4 or 5 feet right up there right now, and
we're golden.
Yeah. I mean, just to try to do as much as I can do now would be better than having to, let's move curb and gutter later, right?
Yeah, no, that's why I brought it up now. Yeah. I don't want to inflict let's move curb and gutter on anybody.
Right.
But also, the plan for where that trail goes has not been, it goes on your side and it goes on the west side of the road, but I have not looked thoroughly because periodically CDOT lets us run in their right of way. So I'm not sure whether we could get it in back of you.
Wow. I don't think you'd want it there. I think you'd want it in town, like so people could really come in town and use the services in town. That's
well, it would just go around the back of you and it would go back,
No, I get it. But for everyone else, that would be not as, I don't think that would be as good to, it seems like this is, a bicycler is going to come and pull into our restaurant or somebody else across the street.
Yep.
So it seems like this is a better, is the right location to me.
Okay, I was just trying to not destroy your parking area.
I'll squeeze it a little bit. I mean, I can get a little bit out of it. I have a little bit of room to move. Cool. Well, so from here we'll.
Bert, hey, sorry, Dave and Cindy. This is Chuck. How you doing?
Hey.
Idea on that is, what if we did one way, you know, on
In the parking, sure.
side, you know, so it was enter only, exit only, and did like 60-degree parking spots there versus 90s.
We looked at that, Chuck, early on, and it works.
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, there's not a great reason to do it unless we have to.
That's right.
Right, yeah. Or because we don't really need a 24-foot wide drive aisle either, do we? Do we have a?
I think I can squeeze, like, get that to 23 feet and move it over a little bit to the sidewalk. And I think I can get a couple more feet in that landscape buffer without much ado, you know?
Cool. No, I mean, it seems like you try to give you guys 5 feet here.
Yeah, I think 5 feet would be max, because what we're talking about, you know, is essentially trying to get about a 2-foot shoulder on either side of the road, which is just a 2 foot. And then if you did a little bit of curb and gutter, you're in basically a 4-foot section.
Yeah, it seems like that's doable.
So it's not major, but when I saw this plan, I thought, you know,
But we're tied up to it. So, I mean, I appreciate the heads up now, because it's really much easier to fix it on paper than after concrete's poured, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, last time I do recall a discussion about the fire access and stuff. Has that all been cleared up, or is that?
Yep. No, they've looked at it and they have no issues with it.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we didn't mess with that problem. Okay, good.
Now we're working on with our civil engineer on water, sewer, gas, and electric right now, which is all in Argentine. And, you know, there's we can't really dig too deep there without hitting issues. And so we're aware of that, and he's aware of that, and we're trying to connect the most convenient, easiest way possible.
Okay, great. All right, well, we will put you down as coming back before us with more detailed plans, and look forward to seeing it.
Perfect. Hey, I did hear one thing that you guys mentioned to a couple other people. Trees. They don't survive. They don't last. I'm a definite green thumb kind of guy, and I'd like to put in the appropriate plantings here. And we would intend to irrigate just to get everything started. But is there a native planting guideline that you guys like to see?
Not really. I think that if you take care of your trees, are going to be more damaged by the wind than anything else. They're not sitting in the kind of soil that we were talking about on that one house.
Okay.
And if you have gators for your trees, and you take good care of your trees, they should make it. There are aspens, cottonwoods, evergreens. The trees by the Georgetown Lake were all planted in about 40 years ago, but it takes a lot of years for them to get going, but they're going.
Well, specifically the ones that are going to be in public right of way, like in our parking lot, we have 5 trees in the landscape islands, and then something in the landscape buffer. So if there's any consistency of right of way trees, we would be glad to work with you to get the right species.
Well, what we've been putting down Argentine Street between 11th and 15th are cottonless narrowleaf cottonwoods, because that's the traditional street tree. That's the historic street tree of Georgetown.
Okay.
All of our north-south streets were lined with them. And as a matter of fact, there's still some of the very early ones from the late 1800s that still exist along Argentine, what was old Argentine. So, and all of the ones around the visitor center were
Mhm.
planted in 2003. So they've done, they've done quite well.
Fair enough. Let's keep that consistent then.
So, so that would be one thought.
Okay.
Hey Cindy, the Bighorn Apartments across the way actually had to revise their landscape plan because of the water rights thing. You recall that? Do you think
Yes,
that's
I do, but
that
they had a huge plan.
okay? Okay.
Um,
No, I
and-
just didn't know if that was going to apply over here or not down in that area.
I don't think it's going to apply on 5-3.
Okay.
Because they were watering sod. He's not watering sod.
Right. And truly, the rest of the plantings around the back of the building, and I think that most likely will be some sort of gravel that doesn't blow. I'm not sure what that means, but larger gravel that doesn't,
10-inch diameter boulders.
What are you saying, Bob?
10-inch diameter
There
boulders.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. We'll be presenting to you guys in the next month or two, and we'll see you again with some more detail.
Yeah, sorry it took so long.
Can you put us on to the front of the agenda next time, please, please? Because I was on with Susan before anyone else came on, too.
I know. Do you have power yet?
Yeah, I came back on. It's been
good.
Going on and off all day, though.
Have you had dinner yet?
No power.
I know.
You lost power. Oh.
Dinner would be nice.
I did. When power came on, we had dinner. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay. And last thing I think, unless somebody has something, is minutes from, well, I've got December 9th. I thought mine things.
Yes, that's right.
So, and we should have had the minutes of November 18th too, because that's, remember when our internet went out last meeting?
Yeah, I don't see
them.
them.
Done those ones, but well, we'll just do them another time.
I'm hungry.
Okay. I did not see anything. I was kind of glancing at these.
On the last paragraph,
I've lost mine.
it says COA and it really should say occupancy permit.
To occupancy permit.
For major projects.
Or major projects. Got you.
Yeah, for major projects.
Okay.
God, where are mine? Too much papers.
Does somebody want to make a motion then?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with those changes. Mark?
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah.